Well, good evening, everyone. This is Damian Maynard. I'm back after a couple of days of not feeling very well, and well, my body said, "No, you're not doing the show tonight." So, um, some good news today. I read in an article that the the heads of Wounded Warriors Project have been let go. They are no longer in the employment of Wounded Warriors Project. Yay. Those people were sucking the life out of the project and dumping millions into their own bank accounts. So I'm glad they're gone. More power to them. I hope the money actually goes where it's supposed to go now. That was number one on my list. And actually, I wanted to try and get one of these. I would like to try and get the article that I saw. So I'm going to try and do that right now. No, I don't want Bing. That's not what I said. For some reason, anytime I pull anything up on Bing, I can't share it with the rest of you. So not liking that at all. Oh, crap. Yeah. So I'm going to actually try and bring this up on my screen share and see if it works. If not, I'm going to have to get XSplit or something else. And I am going to stop whatever that is. Stupid ads. It won't let me turn it off. So anyway. Hey, there it goes. Right on. So Wounded Warrior Project founder and the top executive fired after damning CBS report. The CBS reported a while back about the charity's founders using Wounded Warrior Project to scam people out of money, basically. So the top two executives in the Wounded Warrior Project were fired Thursday by board members after the charity came under scrutiny for lavish spending. WWP Chief Executive Officer Stephen Nardizzi the charity's founder and the chief operating officer, Al Giordano, were fired after a recent CBS News report found that just 60% of the organization's budget, mostly donations from average Americans, were spent on the 52,000 wounded warriors from the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. By comparison, similar charities spend a tiny fraction of their budgets on administrative and fundraising costs. Wounded Warrior Project has raised billions of dollars with a B over the last decade, including $300 million in 2014, but has often misspent money, $26 million in 2014, on things like employee conferences and entertainment, CBS found. So let's get a Mexican mariachi band in there. Let's get maracas made with the Wounded Warrior Project logo on them for every staff member's desk. Let's get it catered, have a big old party, said Eric Millett, a retired Army Staff Sergeant who quit after Wounded Warrior Project speaker for 2 years. I'll be damned if you're going to take hard-working Americans' money and drink it and waste it, Millett said, instead of helping those brave men and women who gave you the freedom to walk the face of this earth. More than 40 former employees said spending became out of control when Nardizzi took over as CEO in 2009, sparking outrage over his actions during annual employee conferences. He rappelled down the side of a building. He's come in on a Segway. He's come in on a horse, said one identified employee. I wouldn't be ashamed at all to say my name if I was going to out somebody, and misdeeds that they've done. Watchdog Group Charity Navigator reports WWP spent about 59.9% of its budget on programs and services for wounded veterans in 2014, compared to about 98% by other veterans charity, the Marine Corps Law Enforcement Foundation. WWP reported spending the rest on administrative expenses, 6%, and fundraising costs, 34%. Wounded Warrior Project issued a statement criticizing CBS for not contacting the charity's audit committee before broadcasting the story. The organization also said it was implementing cost-cutting measures, like only allowing employees to fly economy class. To best effectuate these changes and help restore trust in the organization among all of the constituencies WWP serves, the board determined the organization would benefit from new leadership, and WWP CEO Steve Nardizzi and COO Al Giordano are no longer with the organization, the statement said. Good on you. Good on you. I'm proud of you. I really am. Get rid of those fuckers. They didn't belong there. They really just didn't belong there. So, again, to Wounded Warriors Project for getting rid of those bastards. Sorry about your luck there, founder, but you were making way too much money off something that you said was for veterans. Now, maybe they will stop attacking smaller veterans organizations who also have warrior in their name, and in fact will become a better organization due to different leadership. So I'm very proud of what they've done. I just hope that what they've done is enough to make some better changes and see it through the way that it should be, honestly. Hello, everybody. So, like I said, I'm really proud of Wounded Warriors Project for taking the initiative um, to take care of some big problems in their organization and get them out of there. Oh yeah. On a little note, Scott, I got my beautiful mod and tank today. This is absolutely gorgeous. Thank you. I have to wait till Monday to use it because we just run out of funds. So I will be getting some juice, some cotton, and some coil Monday to be able to use this. Monday will be my last day smoking, I think. And you may have to show me how to put those coils in because I looked all over the place and I don't even see a place to put them. So thank you, Scott. Yes, I have a bunch of wrenches in here tonight. That's awesome. In fact, we're going to have another one here in just a minute. Because you can never have too many wrenches, I think. Bam! They're like that. You never have too many wrenches, and they really do look good on my mods. So beware all you trolls. And I know why you came in, and I know why you came and commented on my video, because you can't get in my room and disturb us there. I know that's why you came and like made some stupid comments, which, you know what, they were really stupid comments. So you're gonna have to come at me harder than that if you really want to troll me. Because that was really a lame ass comment. So my friend just lost her son to here recently, and so I don't even know all the details of it yet. But it was very sad to see that she lost her son. And my neighbor's moving. That sucks because they're really awesome, and they're moving to the other side of town, which I'll still be able to see them. It's just not the same as like walking over with a bottle, you know, or it's just not the same. So I went past their house tonight because they're not home, and I saw all the lights on in the house, and so I go around and I'm checking the doors, and I'm like, fuck, the back door's open. So I came and got my gun, and I'm like, went back over there and I cleared the house. And there's nobody in the house, but the lights weren't on the last time I saw everybody there. And so I decided to take it upon myself and check the house. I would feel really bad for anyone that would have been in there, though. Not really, but kind of. Yeah, they've lived there 22 years. They're the mom's husband was actually one of one of my wife's teachers in school. He passed away here several years ago. So they really haven't had, they've not lived anywhere else in 22 years. So it's kind of sad, you know. They don't have to move, but they're moving because of internal family stuff. So so I understand that, and I hope they can resolve them. And pretty much it seems like they're resolved now. Like now that they're not all in the same house, they're fucking great. How does that work? But I kind of know how it works because I don't talk much to my family, and we work great. And so, yeah, we talk like, I don't know. I call my mom like once a month. We're great like that, but we can't live with each other. That's just difficult. Um, oh, so holy shit, what to talk about? Um, Finally got I got in contact with Shauna today, and I asked her about getting on the show. She hasn't answered me yet on that, but um, I'll work on it. And of course, um, Victoria's been busy this week, so whenever she gets around to it, that's fine with me. And I've given both of them my numbers. If anyone wants to call in or come to Hangouts, that's cool. We can have a nice conversation there. Mike, if you want to come into Hangouts, we can talk about whatever. I know everybody likes our conversations because they're just, where are they going to go next? Are they going to touch on aliens or Christianity or non-Christianity, or what are they going to do? So, yum. I love chips and salsa. And I did post a picture in Hangouts earlier of some awesome pancake sausage sandwiches that I made. They were really freaking great. I don't know who saw them, but they were awesome. I can do that. Just a second here. I can do that. Wow. See, and there it pops up right there. Bam. Okay, so you are, I am an alien. Yes, I do feel like an alien sometimes too. Hey,
What's going on, man?
how you doing?
Good. I've been
Awesome.
working all kinds of tech issues, trying to get this Hangout thing synced up with XSplit, and yeah, man.
It looks good.
Good. I got the latency. There we go.
Yeah, I turn all my stuff off because, well, I turn off all the video, of
Uh-huh.
course, because I'll just get feedback anyway, or it'll echo or whatever, it'll play what I'm doing. So I just turn it off anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop out the chat right now so I don't have the added lag there.
Oh,
Let's
you
see.
can just probably turn your camera off and that'll work.
Oh yeah.
But you look fine on this end.
Well, thanks, man.
There is some lag between the live air and the video or the feed. But other than that, I think it looks great.
Let me try that out here because yeah, I got all this stuff going on here. Let's see what happens if I ditch XSplit real quick. Oh, you're on XSplit too, huh?
No, I'm not actually.
Oh, you're not. Okay, I got that icon at the bottom of your. Let's see here. Am I still on camera or not?
No, it has your XSplit.
Oh, that's weird. Oh, that's terrible. It's funny, I closed it. It should be gone. So how about them aliens, man?
Oh my God, man, there's so much going on within the alien stuff right now.
I know, huh?
Yeah, because I subscribe to a couple of channels that cater to that kind of stuff, like MUFON and what else? The UFO stuff. What is it called? I have to remember. It's all
Well,
in my.
there's the Disclosure Project, and there's also the movement through Sign of the Times. Have you ever heard of Sign of the Times website, which with some channeling?
I have.
Yeah.
I have. They do a lot of Christian kind of stuff too.
Mm-hmm. How's my audio? Can you hear me okay? Am I clear?
Your audio is fine, but it's showing your XSplit broadcaster sign instead of you.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to shut off the camera, and let's see if this helps. If no, that didn't do anything. I don't know why it's showing that because I don't have XSplit open right now, but that's pretty lame. I don't want to be a walking advertisement.
Yeah, you might actually have to click out and then come back.
Tell you what, I'll try that real quick. I'll try to call you this time.
Okay.
All right.
Maybe it'll work this time.
Yeah, I know, huh? I'll give you a shot here in a sec.
All right. Oh, Secure Team was one of the ones I was trying to think of. Secure Team 10. I get a lot of updates from them. A lot of they do video. They do video vetting, and actually, I like some of their stuff because they will go into detail about certain things, and they'll zoom in on the article when they can on the. Oh, nope, you can't call me there. Nope. I will call you on here.
I
Nope,
think
your XSplit's still up.
let's try this here.
Weird. There it is. That was it.
I ditched it. Yay! It's all those little things, you know, trying to work those out, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly where I'm gonna go with. I don't know if I'm gonna go with XSplit or if I'm actually gonna go with one of the other configurations.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I know there's a couple of them.
Yeah, I've been having issues with dragging audio or other files into XSplit, and then when you play them back in a call, the audio is so low they can't hear it. So it's like I've been trying to work that out, and because I was piecing together a bunch of different video clips to try and have a coherent content, and then nobody can hear them. So it's like, oh, okay, back to square one.
Right. And I don't like that. I'm already having problems with doing stuff like that. So I want something that's as seamless as I can get it.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't want anything complicated. Just like if I can line up some scenes, that'd be great, you know?
Could you guys see, I don't know if you came on while I was showing that article. But
It's about the Wounded Warrior thing. I caught the tail end of that when you were just coming on.
yeah, did you see the article?
I didn't. Is there a link for it that you could post in the chat room there? I can check it out.
It is, let me go back over here and I can pull it up. Maybe it'll give it to me. Yeah, they got rid of their chief executive officer and their chief operating officer.
So they're pretty much cleaning house.
That's good because they needed to.
Because they've been kind of corrupt for a bit there, like most organizations that are established.
Yeah, millions of dollars, millions and millions of dollars they've been bilking from the Wounded Warriors Project.
That's the hard thing about all those foundations that have been around a while. Like you have, you know, cancer research, you've got breast cancer research, you've got all those. And the last thing they ever want to have happen is a cure to come out, because there's a $1 billion industry that disappears overnight.
Right.
It's messed up, you know, because the thing they're saying they're fighting is the thing they don't want to happen. Yeah, it's disturbing. That's the Alice in Wonderland world we're in, huh?
Yes. It sure is.
And I wish it weren't so, and that's what the hard thing is even getting involved with a charity. You have the angle of like, well, we're going to feed the homeless and the hungry. Well, why are they even homeless or hungry? It's culture and society, and then you get into the economy and the false money system, fiat currency, and all. You go on and on. It's like, well, this is a bigger problem than just they're hungry and they're homeless if you start looking outside of it. And that's a tough one, man.
Right. No.
But I still get worked up about it.
Okay. Now paste it over here. Bam. Okay. So I'm going to put this article in here.
Oh, there we go. Check
Yeah,
it out, right.
This is the article that I actually read. I've read several throughout today because it just made me so damn happy. And I've read several articles from various organizations that have Wounded Warrior or Warrior even, or Wounded Hero, you know, and I've worked with a few actually smaller organizations like American Wounded Heroes. They're out of Silver Spring, Maryland, or Washington, D.C. It's right there. And I've worked with a few other smaller organizations, and they, the whole thing about Wounded Warrior Project is that they will sue smaller organizations just for having a similar name. And I find that extremely disturbing, because they're a multi-billion-dollar corporation, and here they are suing these. I mean, these people aren't even making $1 million a year for, you know, for their charities, and here this huge giant conglomerate project goes after them because they have a similar name, and they're not infringing on anything. They're not copyright infringing. They're not doing anything like that, yet they will go and sue the pants off these people and almost devastate their little organization just to get rid of them.
And that's the most disturbing thing, because the goal should be the same. You're helping veterans. You're helping people coming back that are scarred, that need help. And then just from the article I'm looking at right now, you know, 26 million spent in 2014 on employee conferences and entertainment. It's like,
Yeah, bullshit.
what? Do you know what you could have done with 26 million for the vets that came back?
Or
I mean,
their-
that goes a long ways, you know?
yes.
It's disgusting, man. It makes me want to, like, throw something. Not the lamp, you know.
No, it's disturbing. It's extremely disturbing. It's horrible. It's horrible. Why would a company do that? I mean, if you really are a nonprofit organization, okay, and because I actually thought about getting nonprofit status and starting my own organization for Gold Star families, and they have a few Gold Star charities. There's Gold Star moms and Gold Star fathers, and I've actually talked to the heads of both of those, and there's some other Gold Star organizations, but they really aren't getting the funds that they need. And for a wife that's lost their husband, or a child that's lost their father at war, you know, it's extremely difficult for them to be compensated in the way that they should be. So I actually wanted to found an organization that would be able to do some of those things, like, you know, take their kids to a park for the day, you know, like Disneyland or Magic Mountain or whatever have you, or to a horse camp or wherever the hell they want to go.
Yeah.
Or even, you know, be able to maybe pay the mortgage off a home for a family, or things that are truly going to help in the long run. And those camps or day trips or weekend trips or whatever may not look like a very big thing to some people, but for those children, you know, that's something huge to them. So
yeah, it's those little things, and you think about $26 million being spent on, you know, employee meetings and entertainment for employees, then you kind of become an entity of yourself that's outside of the main purpose of how it started.
yeah,
And I think that's kind of like the downfall of all governments and all civilizations and all of everything. It becomes decadent, and then it falls, and it becomes corrupt, and then it turns into something else. And it's great to see they fired these bastards, though. Glad.
you can't even imagine how freaking happy that makes me, actually.
I mean, I totally see it. And with this article too, it's saying that there were 40 former employees said spending got out of control when Nardizzi, I guess is how you say his name, Nardizzi. He took over as CEO in 2009, and he would rappel down the side of a building. He would come in on a Segway. He'd come in on a horse, said one unidentified employee. Well, the unidentified employee, there were 40 of them. I guess, you know, they still want to have a career or whatever, but
Right.
that's
Fuck that. Who wants to have a career for a corrupt fucking organization?
yeah, it's like, this is messed up. You know, I got involved with this. Maybe they're thinking I got involved with this, but I don't want to be a whistleblower either, because my future might be in, you know, trying to get another job. But it says that only 59.9% of their budget was
Right. Goes to the organization, which is that's total bullshit, especially when you're making billions of dollars. Are you still with us?
You know,
Okay.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there might be a little lag here because there's, yeah, this
You're,
signal here is not always the greatest.
yeah,
But, uh,
you're talking
but yeah,
about
I mean, that's coming in on a horse and a Segway and rappelling down a building. It's like, what about the veterans, man? Isn't that the whole
right.
reason you're not you rappelling or riding a Segway? What are you going to do? Like ride a Segway in front of people that are amputees that just came over from Iraq?
Exactly.
I mean, that's just so tasteless in so many ways. I can't even, it's disgusting, man.
Right? Why don't you buy those guys some legs so they can fucking rappel down the building?
Yeah, that 26 mil you dropped on your entertaining your employees there would help.
Right? Well, imagine what you could do. Okay, okay, that's $26 million. Okay? If you take a
Yeah.
$250,000 and dump it into a family, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Entirely redo their home so that that wounded person doesn't ever have to worry about it again.
Yeah.
Because some guys are going to be in wheelchairs. Some guy, because I know people, that are not going to walk again. They're not. And it doesn't matter how much physical therapy they go through or whatever. They're quadriplegics or paraplegics, and they are not going to walk again. It's not going to happen.
Yep.
So you could totally refurnish their entire home to meet their needs, and you could do that 100 times over.
I mean, 26 million, if you had some sort of program kind of like Habitat for Humanity, that's just for veterans that come back, that are dealing with a lot of health issues or need special accessible homes. You could take that 26 mil and build a lot of homes,
That's what I'm saying. You could do that. Okay, if it's 26 million, if you had $1 million and you did that, $1 million, that's a lot of money. $1 million per home. That's 26 people. Okay, if you divide that, that's 52. And if you divide that again, that's 104. Okay, so $250,000 by 104.
There you go. I mean, it wouldn't even take a quarter mil.
And that's an exorbitant amount of money. $250,000 is like way more than you would need to be able to do that. You could get them a handy bus or a handy van, or you could refurnish their entire home for less than $250,000.
And that's and that's a whole independent like nonprofit organization that's supposed to be helping veterans, right?
Yeah, and that's just what they spend on themselves. That's not what they spent in their organization. That's just what they spend on themselves. $26 million. That's bullshit.
There's no excuse for that, and I'm glad they clean house. I hope that it changes around, and whoever comes in there next is going to be under scrutiny, because if they come in with the same bravado, they've already got the scandal that preceded them, so they're going to have their stuff in order and reel it in to even have a career. So that's the good thing. It should take off in a new direction with the new person, because career-wise, they'll be screwed if they do the same thing the last guy did.
Right. Well, and the thing is, it's been going on for years and years now. It's been going on for at least 7 years. So.
Oh yeah.
And it's been out for quite a long time within the communities, but it took a while for mainstream media to even say anything about it. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Well, and that was one of the things too that as far as like money and the use of money, did you ever see that footage of Rumsfeld the day before 9/11 coming out and saying there's like 2.3 trillion missing from the defense budget, and they just can't find it.
We don't know where it is. Yeah, you do. Pocket.
There's a great collage of all that footage. I don't know if I'll paste it. It's just funny because they collected all of the reports on it, when they were doing. Oh, there it is. Oh, it works. I usually can't post links, but that's on a YouTube link, and it's just a collage of.
You know why you can post links now?
Oh, the wrench.
Yes, the wrench is
Nice.
almighty.
Well, I'm not going to go crazy with it, but that was something I always liked, that collage, because it shows Rumsfeld the day before 9/11 coming out and saying, we can't find 2.3 trillion, and gosh golly, we're going to look for it. And then what happens? You know, the place that was located, one of the places it was located was in World Trade Center, you know, obviously. And then you have the Pentagon, the very section it got hit the day after. So, I mean, it's disgusting, man. It's so obvious now that I don't even know where it could go from the obvious nature of it all. I mean, I think the only way that people would distrust politicians at this point is if they come on cable television and they like, that's the only thing. It's terrible, but you know,
Right.
if they started raping kittens, then maybe people would wake up and say, hey, maybe they're not the best people to be leading us. But other than that, everything else has been done already. So
I'm just stepping out to have a smoke. I can still hear me. Can you still hear me?
okay,
Can you still hear me pretty well?
yeah, I can hear you really good, actually.
Great.
Yeah, I tried the vaporizer thing, or the vapor thing, and it actually made my chest hurt more than just my own Rolly smokes. So I went back to the organic Rolly smokes.
Yeah, I actually like vaping. I tried it a couple times here when a friend of mine had one, but I really didn't get the chance to become accustomed to one and like set it for myself. And this is actually a really nice mod he sent me. So, and the tank and whatnot, because it's all I have figured out what it does as far as opening and closing holes and whatnot. There's air breathers and all kinds of stuff in it. And I think once I get the juice and get it started, I've already got my batteries blasted up and everything. So once I get my juice and cotton and figure out how to put a coil in there, then I'll be set.
No, it's the way to go, man. It's like I gave it a shot, and you know, it just yeah, it made my chest hurt when I was using it. And I tried different settings and different juices, but maybe I just wasn't instructed by the right people. You know, it's like one of those things. You need kind of guidance, just like figuring out the internet issues with XSplit, whatever. It's the
Right.
same, like moving on to some technical device that's gonna, you know, alleviate tobacco from my life. But I don't know, man. I hike up and down hills all day, and I just hand roll, you know. I use, you know, American Spirit, and I wouldn't say that, you know, who's to say it's organic? You know, I'm not saying that, oh, it says it on the label, it must be, right?
So you must American Spirit?
Yeah, I just get the American Spirit organic pouch, and then I just roll my own smokes that way.
American Spirit's a big way to go. I smoke drum normally. I mean, I have some cigarettes right now, but I normally smoke drum just because it's a really good, robust tobacco.
Yeah, I used to do the Bali. Remember the Bali shag back in the day?
Yep, it's the same thing. It's shag weed or shag. It's
Totally.
yeah, it's shag.
It's Bali Shag Light for years, man. That was like the pouch I always used to roll out of.
Yeah, shag is actually made from more tips and whatnot. It's better tobacco. It costs a lot more, but it's definitely worth it.
Totally.
Definitely worth it.
Quality. It's like when I break up a pre-rolled, and I show someone, like my neighbor was smoking a pre-rolled, and he's like, what are you smoking on there? I can't even smell you smoking it, and you're sitting right next to me. It's like, well, what do you mean you can't smell it? It's like, well, my wife smokes sometimes, and when she does, it stinks up, you know, everything. And I'm like, okay, well, let's look at what we got in here. So we cracked open her pre-rolled, and I pulled out some from the pouch, and I'm like, he's like, that doesn't even look like the same thing, you know?
Right. It's not the same thing at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
But,
it's not the same. That's why.
but yeah, it's like, you know, whatever floats your boat. And I'm not, you know, judging. I used to smoke Marlboro Lights, good grief, back in the day, you know. It's like terrible. Camels and Durrells. I used to smoke Durrells back in the day. Oh my God, those are terrible.
Right.
Oh, Sherry just made a reference to some Hank Williams.
Yeah, I gave her the answers too.
Yeah, nice. It's great you know that right off. Yeah.
We used to sing that all the time at karaoke. So it was like that was our
Stone and sing all night long.
audience line.
Oh yeah. It's funny. I was listening to some more Hank Williams as opposed to Williams Jr. lately. I've been listening to the old school country, and someone asked me if I like country. It's like, yeah, but probably it was a younger person, and I said probably, but the country I'm thinking of you wouldn't know about, and they didn't. You mean there's a Hank Williams? Yeah, it's his father. Hank Williams Jr. is the son, and on, you know.
Right. Well, do you know who Hank Williams Sr. was before he became Hank Williams Sr.?
Who's that?
He went by the name oh good Lord. I want to say it's not Lefty Frizzell. I know who Lefty Frizzell is too. I gotta look it up real quick because
Yeah, no problem. You're making me want to roll a smoke now. All this talking about tobacco.
I love cigarettes.
I do too, man. It's like there's been some really hard times in my life, and the thing is, I always fought for to get back to, and it's worked so far. Is if I can just sit down, have a beer, and have a cigarette, then I can get my head straight and move forward. And it's always worked out, you know.
I had some of his music when he was still writing under that name.
Well, I'm loving this because I had no idea Hank Williams Sr. Went under another name and wrote different music. There might be stuff I never heard before.
He did, and I had a whole collection of his. I had every song he probably ever made, and Luke the Drifter. That's it, Luke the Drifter.
Luke the Drifter, man. I gotta write that down here so I can check that out.
Yeah, I knew I could find it. I lost all my music, but I still remember. And but I'll eventually get it back. I had like 30 gig of music though, so it's going to take me a while to get it back.
You know, I went through that a couple times because I went through a couple laptops and I was living in a van and stuff. And I broke down and got like an external hard drive because I'd restored, like, you have to go back and be like, oh, I don't have that song anymore. My computer died. I don't have that song anymore. So I just started getting an external drive. And the only thing I use it for is just to take all the music that I get to put on there to back up so I never have to go through that again. I did it like 3 or 4 times, man. It was a nightmare.
Yeah, it sucks. It totally sucks. I hate losing my music because I had stuff you'll never find again because you know back in the day when people were able to trade music and LimeWire was really good and
Yeah, man.
there was several sites that were just really awesome sites. And I got
LimeWire.
Yeah, it was great.
It was awesome, man.
And I had some unreleased Beatles music. I had some unreleased a bunch of music and stuff that people had in their private collections. Stuff, you know, some old Bob Seger, some of everything. So So I had Lefty Frizzell and I had Luke the Drifter and every
Nice.
everything Hank Williams Sr. ever made, and everything Elvis and the Beatles ever made. I had, oh God, man, I had the grandest collection, and and I lost it all. It sucks. I lost it all. It was all on DVD too.
Oh man.
I had them all downloaded onto DVDs.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I even bought a DVD player for my car that would play that format, and
Uh-huh.
I don't even have that anymore. So I have nothing that I had back then.
Yeah, that was one thing I always wanted to try to figure out was how to, because yeah, the stereo could play like an MP3 or MP4, and you can like stuff all kinds of music on it. You don't have to have an external device. You could just have a disc. And I never got that savvy with it. I broke down and bought like a cheap MP3 player that, I still carry around. That thing's been through it, man. I've had it like 8 years and it's still going. I can still charge it and everything. The battery, $30, like 8 years ago.
Oh yeah, for an MP3 player, yeah.
That's crazy, man.
So what do you want to talk about tonight?
I don't know, man. The door's wide open. We could talk about, this CERN thing. They're supposed to be kicking that up again soon.
Oh,
Is it,
absolutely horrible.
I know. It's like they're kind of experimenting with our reality now without our consent, which they've been doing on us. They've been testing on us for a while, vaccinations. And you go that direction, or, there's the fallen angels thing. There's the real Jesus. Hey, I think I asked you before. You've heard of Alan Watts before, right? The
About
philosopher of the 60s. He's got some amazing lectures that kind of opened my eyes to the whole I don't know, alternative view back in the day. But I'm not looking at the screen right now because can you hear me?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I saw
I
I saw your lips moving and stuff on the screen, but I didn't hear you say anything. Alan Watts, though, he's an amazing philosopher, and there's another guy named Alan Watt without the S, and that's not the guy. This dude like died in '73, and he did a lot of lectures on Eastern philosophy, and just he called himself a spiritual entertainer, and he has nothing to sell, and but anyhow, yeah, I mean, there's CERN, there's aliens, there's how to potty train your kid.
potty train your kid. That's
I
easy.
was just talking to someone about that on the phone. They were like, every night I go to bed, I wake up and my kids pee in the bed. It's like, well, do you give them juice before they go to bed? Yeah, they take a sippy cup. It's like, do you make them go potty before they go to bed? No.
Well, there's your problem.
Yeah. I was like, well, there you go. And it's like,
Put them on the potty. Run the water in the bathroom. Now this works. I'm telling you. Put them on the potty. You turn the bathroom faucet on, and you leave them in there until they go.
Yep. I used a turkey timer with my kid to train her how to use the potty, and it was just like every 30 minutes we try to sit on the potty, and once it happened, she got this big lollipop. We got this scavenger hunt. It was a special lollipop we saved, It's like once you go in the potty, you get this big lollipop, and it's like, ah. And then I was like, praising her constantly. And it was like the day after that, she's gone ever since, and I had an issue with it.
Yeah, it's not a problem anymore.
It's kind of like the psychology 101 thing we were talking about on our last conversation too, of just all these triggers we pick up through our life, whether it's a hurt or a reward, or whether there's something lacking that we feel with a vice, And psychology to me is just fascinating because I'm always trying to look into myself and say, well, why do I smoke? And a lot of people will say it's a Freudian thing because you want to suck on something like the mother's milk kind of thing. But for me, it's a stimulant and also like a conversational stimulant. But who knows? I mean, who am I to say?
Freud was a total crack.
I know. he was doing a lot of blow too. So
Yeah, he was totally blown out of his head. Like, no joke.
whenever someone's doing a lot of blow, everything seems like a great idea, right? You can convince anyone.
I think Freud had a lot of family problems himself. You know, he had a lot of resentment towards his family, and so he liked to blame stuff on his family. So he because he had these problems, that everyone must have these problems,
Yeah.
which I don't find to be true at all.
Well, it would be interesting, that's one thing I always fascinated or fantasized about is having Carl Jung and Freud in the same room,
That would be awesome.
being able to ask them both questions. And it's like, so Sigmund, you feel everything revolves around the sexual repression. What would you have to say about that, Carl, to Sigmund, and then just sit back like a fly on the wall and just listen?
Yes, watch them banter against each other. That would be awesome.
Yeah, like, I'd like to hear Carl Jung bringing up the issue of the shadow personality to Sigmund and saying, no, it isn't. And Carl's like, there's something you're hiding, you're repressing, and I don't know. Imagine how that would go. That'd be a great animation thing to do,
No, because I don't think Sigmund Freud even touched base with the shadow personality. And see, that is, oh my God. When you bring that up, it brings up that 46 and 2 song.
Dude, yes. You're a Tool fan. Yes.
I'm definitely a Tool fan.
Dude, yeah, well, I am too. Yeah, I was waiting their album to be released this year. Hopefully it will be, like they say they're working on it. But I know they're on tour this year
for
too.
like a couple of years now. Come on, Tool.
I know, huh?
Come on, Maynard.
46 and 2, man. Yeah, Step Into the Shadow. It's got all the Carl Jung references in it. That's one of my daughter's favorite songs, actually, and she's only 7. So
A lot on that. And see, the 46 and 2 in itself is because we are
the chromosomes, right?
42 chromosomes, but when you step into that 46 chromosome factor, then you're enlightened. You're stepping out of this shell that we're in, and seeing the shadow world itself. And I think drugs actually bring that to light a lot. Even, especially like in the methamphetamine world, I don't like talking about, particularly like talking about that, but I do. It depends on the facet that I'm bringing it out in. And
well, it's something you experience and it's valid, and that's the thing, is no judgment with experience. We're still here having the experience, and there's nothing that's not valid, right?
Right. Well, within the methamphetamine world, shadows are a huge thing. Huge, absolutely huge. Because when you've stayed up for days at a time, you actually can see the shadow world like it's playing. And yeah, and that was one of the that's one of the horrible, but on the other hand, now that I look at it in a different light, it's one of the more grandiose things about it, I guess, because you do stay up for days at a time. Like my longest stretch was like 3 weeks staying awake without any sleep at all. And at that point, you're like in this whole different realm, entirely off this planet. But
I can't imagine that, man.
But within the days after, after sleeping and whatnot and using again, in the days after you've had sleep, you actually begin to see the shadow world again. And it's crazy because you see things that really, they may be there. They may be there, really. But no one else can see them but you.
Yeah. I tried it twice in my life, crystal meth. And first time, it was like just a small amount, and yeah, I was up for like a day and a half, and I was like, whoa, okay, because I'm always sensitive to uppers, like even Coke and stuff like that. And then the second time I did it, I did a little more, and that night it was like hell because I felt like someone had reached into my body and pulled out my soul and threw it in the corner, and I have to sit on the other side of the room and look at my soul in the corner until I come down, you know.
Yeah.
And after that, I didn't go near it because I'm like, because before that, I'd had experience with mushrooms and DMT, so it was kind of hard to change gears. And once I saw that kind of level of, it's gonna split you in two and throw yourself over here, and you're no longer a part of that.
Right. It's
That was
definitely
like,
experience. And I lived in that realm for years,
hmm.
and it was difficult. And
Well, it's great you came through it and you're coherent and you still have your mind, you know. I've seen so many people go down that dark road, whatever it is. It could be mushrooms or anything, you know. It's always that thing I always come back to. It's like once you get the message, hang up the phone and, you know, you roll up your sleeves and get to work, you know, which is what you're doing, you know. I'm on your show, man.
right. Well, and here I am. I'm a totally
Yo.
person that I was, you know. But
Mhm.
it with each use of or new experience that I had using with different
Mhm.
stuff, it definitely brought something new to me, you know. And the same can be said about LSD. It can be said about mushrooms, but methamphetamines in particular, because it was such a huge part of my life for a long time. Um,
Mhm.
really, it made me see two sides of a coin that I had only seen one side of for a long time, you know.
Mhm.
And life itself can be a very miserable place, but when you couple it with a hard drug like methamphetamines or heroin or something of that nature. And I mean, you're talking two extremes there.
Yeah.
Heroin is the extreme low, and methamphetamines is literally the extreme high. And
Yeah.
yeah, because on heroin you go to sleep. You're like zoned out to the whole world. And with methamphetamines, you're totally awake, completely, 100% awake. And even your mind even has a because of the drug itself, it creates a lot of what's it called? Not serotonin. The happy drug in your brain.
It's not serotonin.
It's not
Um,
serotonin. It's
Endorphins? No, that's something else, right?
it is an endorphin, but it's got a
It's
name.
some classification, right, for it.
Yeah, it's
Oh shoot.
there's an actual um, name for it, and I can't remember what the name is. but
But I know what you mean.
it's to
It's
have
that dependency.
released from your brain. Um,
Hmm.
and so yeah, they're an endorphin of sorts, but
Uh-huh.
you literally have um, it's kind of like being on the precipice of genius all the time,
Mm, mm,
because you can come up with things in your mind very easily,
mm.
extremely easily.
And I
And
think that was the case with Freud because he was, you know, doing rails all the time and saying, "Oh, I've got it," you know. And he shoots the inner critic, and the inner critic can be a best enemy or the best ally based on how you use your inner critic. It's like, well, I should be better at that, and they push you to do something. But the inner critic can also be shut down completely, so you think everything you do is genius. And there's that in between, you know.
yes,
And I think that's that's that balance of trying to be self-critical, but not overcritical to where you shut down all output, or being completely thinking everything I do is genius, and who is anyone to question me, you know?
Right. Well, after a certain point of time, that happens, and
Yeah, I bet.
it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And then you sleep, and then you start doing it again, and then you're like, "Oh my God, I'm so happy," and then you crash again, and you're like, "Oh, I'm so sad. Fuck, I want to cry." Ah. And
Man,
and there,
no, that was
it's
the thing.
horrible.
That was the experience I had with ecstasy too. The couple times I've tried it, long time ago. It was very like, I'm having fun now, but then the hangover was so hard hitting, and it took me like a day and a half to feel normal again. Like something had been robbed from me, and I have to slowly earn my trust back to get my soul back or something. And that was the two things I only tried a couple times, was meth and ecstasy, that I never went back to, because it was like, okay, you know, I gave you a chance, but the mushrooms, always thumbs up, you know. And
See,
DMT.
I wish I would have done that stuff before I would have touched methamphetamines, because I never would have done meth. If I'd had LSD and shrooms and Deemsters and that shit,
Yeah.
I never would have touched meth. Never. I
Yeah,
would have
that's the
acid
funny
trip.
thing about the Deemsters. You know, you don't really see them at many parties and stuff. Now, certain selective raves, they'll be around, but for most parties, it's not really a party drug. It's one of those things where it's like, you bring your friends into a circle and you say, "Hey, do you want to try some, you know, DMT or whatever?" But
See, now that's totally a
it's a
hippie
trade-off.
drug. It's totally,
Yeah,
that would be brought to somewhere that I would frequent.
yeah, I know. That was the funny thing. I was in a band called Revolve down in Los Angeles for about, you know, it was like 4 years, and we were touring around. We wrote a whole album, and we were all like, every 6 months we'd sit around in a circle and take turns smoking DMT and laying in the center, and we would do it one at a time, and we would write music about it.
I've done salvia like 40 times salvia that way. We all
Yeah,
like,
that's just something I've never tried.
we
I've
sat in
never
a
tried.
circle and smoked it just like greens, and except we would let one person do it, you know, and then hit it really hard and hold it in, and we
Yeah.
would sit there and talk them through their high, and then the
Uh-huh.
next person would do it, and then the next person would do it. Man, I had such a great time. And it's like a 30-second high.
Yeah.
Seconds, and you are whisked away to this whole different world. And you experience like a half a lifetime of stuff in 30 seconds. It's awesome.
Mhm. Well, and the thing is, it brings people together when you go through something like that, and that's the, I think that's the one thing lacking, we're all hungry for, is some sort of life or death moment that we can pat each other on the back and say, "Hey, we went through that together," you know.
Right. It's experience.
Instead, we have this false, you know, I'm walking around the world with a phone in my hand, and it tells me what to do. And are you my friend? Nope, I'm just a friend of you. And, you know, on and on. It's ridiculous, you know. It's the balance of reality versus virtual. The greatest taboo of our time is reality.
Absolutely. Because people don't want to live in reality. They want to live in this obtuse, like different universe.
Yeah.
And they have, and they do.
Mm-hmm.
And once we get back to reality, it's no fun anymore unless you make your reality different.
And that's one thing I always wondered. Maybe that's the whole, the pattern we've been seeing for the last, say, 80 years. We'll just take the last 80 years, and that's like a blink of an eye, you know.
Right.
The way to weaken a population and make them do whatever you want is to kill them with convenience. For 80 years, you give them every convenience you can imagine, but at the same time, you still experiment on them. You know, you got things like, you know, vaccinations, and just when they were given herpes to the minorities in inner cities to see what happens, and So you go on with that, but in the meantime, you have a grocery store in every corner, and you have like the convenience of food is readily available and super cheap. So you do that for 80 years, and you disconnect people from self-sufficiency, and then here we are. Who's going to make a stand? Well, I'm too dependent on the grocery store being open, and I'm too dependent on getting gas in my car, and everything's so spread out now where if you don't have that angle, you're kind of.
It's absolutely horrible because, people are not self-sufficient anymore. They go out and, well, some of us are. Some of us like to go hunting and fishing and stuff like that. Although the only time I've ever really been like hunting on a hunting trip is with other people, and I didn't get to bag the animal. But I have, and when I have hunted, it hasn't been with a gun. It's been with other modes of hunting, spears and rocks and stuff like that. So I've taken pheasants with rocks. I've taken turtles and fish and stuff like that, birds and what. But as far as like hunting with guns, I've only done that once, and I didn't bag the animal myself. So it was completely different than anything I had done before.
Well, and I think that's one of the appeals of the, they made the film, but the book came first. I read the book Fight Club before I saw the film that they made. And I don't know if you're familiar with that book, but
I've not read the book. I did see the film, and it's quite a psychological movie.
Yeah.
I really thought it was. I thought it was neat how they made the movie, because I didn't even know there was a book until after I saw the movie, and I don't find time very often to read entire books anymore.
Here on that. That's definitely one that really puts me, just because of the angle of like how hungry people are now for something, a real experience, And that's the thing with hunting or fishing or, catching a fish, gutting it, and eating it that night. I mean, that's like a rare experience now, and I grew up with that.
And that was an everyday experience for people back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to live that life myself. I would go down to the river and catch my fish and take it home and gut it and clean it. And usually I'd gut it right there on the bank. So,
yeah, that's where you do it.
I mean,
throw it in the cooler
I
and you
didn't
go
wait
back
till I
home.
got home to gut it.
Yeah.
But people don't know what that's like anymore. They're like, fish? I buy that at the supermarket.
I know. It comes all pre-cleaned. It might have the skin underneath, and if it has the head on, like, ooh, that's gross.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, you're going to have a really hard time making it in the real world. They're like cows.
I'm so hungry for it.
You can't kill a cow. I go to the store and buy a steak. I'd be like, I'll buy the side of a cow for $250 and I'll have like meat for a fucking year.
I know. It comes all neatly wrapped in like some sort of sterile, plastic, styrofoam underneath with the blood packs underneath and the plastics over it. You're just like, what the hell is this?
Soaking all the goodness out of my meat.
Yeah, I know. And all, fresh meat, even game, it's like when you look at the colors, it's amazing how different it looks. You have that deep red of wild game, and that's what I love about wild game. It's like I just had a roast with my neighbor that was he got a bear last year, and he's had a bear roast in his freezer, and he's like, we gotta do this, something with this. And I'm like, well, let's have a party, So we had a bear roast party, and when you look at the color of that meat versus anything you've ever seen in the supermarket, it's just like night and day. And people are like, oh, it tastes gamey. And it's like, well, that's how meat should taste.
That's
meat
right.
shouldn't taste like it does in the supermarket. You're getting the goodness right now when you eat this stuff,
Oh man, there's nothing like I don't know if you've ever had beaver. Um, beaver should be a staple in every household, I think. It's
Yeah.
one of the best meats there is.
Yeah, and it's harder to find now because they're so endangered because all the rivers got screwed up with dams, and they.
Yeah, that's because they want to. I'm inviting links to the program too.
Nice.
Because that's because man has decided that they know how to build dams better than beavers.
Yep. And what we do, we kill the salmon, and we wonder why the forests are suffering, and then you don't have the grizzlies around. You see the salmon go in the forest and poop all phosphorus out, feed the forests. So everything's in decline. These dams in the river. Not to mention we don't have natural food sources in our backyards anymore. And the
Right.
forests suffer when you cut off the salmon because all the wildlife eats the salmon, poos it out, and gives phosphorus to the forests, and on and on and on. It's like, man, get me going on that whole search thing.
Oh, there he is. I was just going to ask him if he got here. Hi, Lynx.
Hey, I was just on the show with Reacher 36.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Spitfire invited some of us on. Lori and I jumped on, and turns out our nice little group is
Who
bigger
told
now.
me? Who told me that Lynx wasn't, or that Spitfire wasn't going to be on tonight?
He's not having his own show.
Oh, okay.
He jumped on Reacher's show.
Who's Reacher? I don't know this guy.
Reacher 36. He's a guy over on the East Coast. He's got a show. Pretty cool guy. Somebody was telling me to go watch out Dean James or something like that. And Dean James was on his show also. Shuff was there, but Shuff doesn't have a microphone. Yeah, we saw you. I saw you guys were on too, so I'm like, I'm gonna have to go. Ooh.
Check this out.
Deciduous?
Look what I got.
Okay. Okay. Does it vibrate too?
I don't think so. I haven't tried it yet.
It looks like a vibrating thing there,
No, this is my new vape.
So it does have a button, and it gives you pleasure, and it looks like a schlong.
Yeah, whatever.
No, it's fine. It's good.
I bet it tastes better than a cigarette.
Yeah, and it smells better too.
Try going back to a cig after a week of.
After about a week or two from vaping and no cigarettes, go ahead and try to go back to a cigarette. It'll taste like shit.
That's awesome. That's how I want it to taste.
There you go.
Did you do that, John?
No, when I got this, I stopped cigarettes completely. I was using
You're
that
fucked, man.
Transition when
It was
you were
in the-
transitioning.
when I was
between-
transitioning. Yeah.
You're like at one point, this sucks.
Yeah, it tasted like shit, but my electricity, the battery I had for those little things, didn't charge good enough and stay long enough. So my wife likes being vocal now. Before, while I had a show, she was nice and quiet. Now she's all of a sudden she won't shut up.
That's good though.
Well, I don't know. I like a quiet wife.
Things aren't going to be quiet much longer around here. You realize that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're gonna have a screaming baby.
Yep. Oh, I see what he did. He set up a painting as his backdrop. Okay. It's a nice backdrop.
I like it. The dead tree. That's pretty awesome.
It's not a dead tree. This is kind of like in the fall. You can see the orange leaves in it. Well, it's a dying tree.
Yeah, I like it though. I found a picture tonight that I want. I'm probably gonna hang it on the back wall.
Sweet. And you're going to get it and show it to us, right?
Yeah.
I still want to tag sis.
Do it.
So
So
maybe
what
I
happened to
where
Deciduous?
do you put our coils?
The what?
Where do you put your coil?
The coil in this one is right in here.
In the tank?
Yep.
Because I literally have not found where I put my coil. And it doesn't come with instructions.
Huh. Well, have you filled it up yet?
No, I have to go Monday and get my stuff.
Okay. Well, there, Deciduous is back.
Sorry, I was doing the same thing that Damien was doing there. I was stepping outside for a hand rolly smoky. I know,
I'm
man.
almost a full 6 months. No cigarette.
That's the way to go, man.
That's what I'm hoping out of this.
I was telling him I tried it before and it made my chest hurt. And when I went back to organic tobacco, it didn't hurt anymore. So I don't know what's up with that. Maybe I had the settings wrong, though. That's the thing. I need some guidance on that.
You just have to set it
Quite a
lower.
bit about it. Okay, pull up your vapor. I want to see what you got there. All right, now stop right there. And I'm clicking on you. Let's see.
The tank and everything. I
Yes.
can take everything apart. I know how to do that. So this is the tank.
Right? That
There
is
you
the
go.
tank and the vape. That is where the coil is.
Okay.
You see
So
that little hole, those little holes at the very bottom there?
these,
Inside the tank?
the bottom piece right here,
That is your coil.
that is the coil.
Yep. Go ahead and lift it up a little bit more. I want to see. Yep. That's your coil. That's where you see the kind of cotton little holes right there
Yeah.
side. That's where the juice soaks in, and inside there is inside that on the other side of the cotton is the coil that heats up and vaporizes the liquid.
Okay. So this has like an internal coil that I don't have to put coils in or something.
Yep. Well, you can change that coil. Well, you can change the whole coil thing. Here, I'll get mine, an extra one of mine that well, my wife's grabbing it.
So basically, all I have to do is twist this on, open the top, put my stuff in it, and it's a go.
Pretty much until your coil your coil goes out. But for me, inside this right here is this right here. It's right there. I don't know if you can. You see
I
that
can-
metal piece?
It's dark in there.
You see that metal piece in there though?
Oh yes.
It's this piece right here. Whenever I need to replace them, I just unscrew it, screw on a new one inside there, and fill it up.
And that's the coil. I don't have to make my own coils.
Nope, you just enjoy it because you can get pre-made, you can get pre-done coils. There are coils out there that you can work on your own and make your own coils, but for beginners, the best thing to do is just to buy these pre-made ones. You can get about, it depends who you go through, but you can get about 5 of them for about
What was it?
about 15 to 20 bucks. And then if you do it right, the coil lasts for about a month to 2 months.
Holy shit, that's great.
Yep.
Because I've been wondering about that. So I don't have to buy anything but cotton and juice.
Well, you don't even have to buy cotton because inside these, even the one you got, if you buy these complete, they will already have the cotton in them. This one is a used one. That's why it's so dark.
Right, but you can replace the cotton.
Right. I got one of the things I've got that I can replace cotton. I'm still trying to figure out how to replace the cotton in this one. I'm not sure how yet.
You probably just take it out and put your cotton back in it. Is
Uh,
guessing because I
no, it's
before. Thank
the
you.
cotton's inside that, and I need to figure out how to get it out.
But it
Does
came with an extra. This came with an extra coil, so I have an extra coil already.
the cotton only
Oh,
serves
there
as the
you
wick, right? That wicks the juice up into be vaped, right? The cotton
Yeah.
is the wick.
The cotton is the wick. Yep.
Gotcha.
That's
So the
what.
replacement, it should get some good mileage out of it, just like you know, I was thinking of like the old oil lamps, you know, how they last a while, you know,
Yeah.
because they
Or
only burn at the
FIPA
top.
lighter.
So as the cotton goes through, but I mean, I don't prefer it at all. I tried it. I got a vape here, and just didn't work out for me. I wish it would. I gave it a go.
That's freaking awesome to know, though. So all I really have to do is get juice.
Pretty much.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, wait until Scott gets one.
And you can choose how much your nicotine content is as well, based on how much of a smoker you are.
Right.
Yep.
Well, and you can make your own juice.
Yep, I've got stuff coming out right now for me to make juice. Scott Schaller helped me out on that.
My tank came with an extra glass and an extra coil.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can regulate everything within the tank just by, I've kind of checked this out today, just by closing off some air holes and whatnot. But actually will, I can not only choose how much it takes into the coil, but I can also check the airflow. So I can cut off the airflow and I can cut off the vape tank itself.
My wife was saying, sounds like you got a fancy one, and I go, I can cut off the airflow on mine too.
Can you cut off how much stuff goes into your tank?
Well, that didn't go right. Look at what happened whenever I tried to twist it off. Yeah.
Oh, did it break?
Yeah, but this was an old one that was already bad. I want to see how to get these, if I can figure out how to replace
See, there's a flag back there, man.
Huh? Oh, deciduous.
I see your rebel flag. So I'm from the South and originally, and it's seeing the Confederate flag back there. That was a big spark of controversy a few months ago, huh?
Oh
It's
yeah,
just
especially here in
that-
South Carolina. Oh my God.
In Oregon, over in Portland, there's a circle of flags that have every single flag of the United States up. They took down the Mississippi flag because of the Confederate symbol on it.
Wow.
That they were keeping it?
Even
Man.
after they took it down. It's like
Oh.
shit.
Well, that's the thing about that flag is it got slapped with the automatic knee-jerk reaction that if you have this flag, you're racist. But the whole Confederate War, and the whole Civil War, I mean, that's a whole other topic. But at the same time, it's not based on just slavery. It's not a racist thing based on just slavery. When you look at the balance of what was going on in the North and the South during that time, aside from what we were taught in school,
Yep.
So I don't know. That's just something I noticed. The flag is great to see because just they're trying to erase any type of rebellious motive or any rallying point is trying to be eradicated from the dialogue. So you're automatically evil if you have one around. And that's great because I was wondering what Damien was going through there in South Carolina with that because there was friends calling me saying there's rallies where people are getting around and waving the flag again. It's like, well, they're trying to draw them out at this point,
Oh yeah.
Does that make us evil?
Oh no, I already knew I was evil, hon. That just helps signify how evil.
Oh, I'm not saying he's evil at all. I'm not saying that, you know.
Oh no, you don't have to. I say it every day.
No, you're not.
I
I'm just saying the insane idea that that's the association people have been given, you know, from it.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm from the South, and you know, I mean, I grew up with Confederate flags on the bumper sticker on my truck when I was driving to school with my shotgun in the backseat, you know. Did I ever get, you know, called out because I was carrying a firearm to school? No, because back in the day when I went to high school, but things have changed, say the least.
Yeah. People become bigger pussies.
I had a rifle rack in my car. It was a truck when I went to high school in East Tennessee, and I had rifles in it. I had a 22 LR in it, and I had a shotgun on it. And I would drive to school with it and park in the school parking lot with my firearms and that was when I was 18, you know. That was my senior year of high school. So I was carrying firearms to the school I went to in East Tennessee when I was a senior in high school. And you know what? I wasn't the only one, you know.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like, you know, of course. And there's that like brother handshake thing of when you know, you got your firearm out there in your car and you're going to go out it for school and you're going to hand it to them and they're going to look at it and they always cock it, make, you know, check the chamber, make sure it's clear, and you know, you look through the scope, and it's just kind of like what we did. But now it's like, you know, if even if you got a permit,
Oh, you got a
walk
firearm.
down the street, yeah, oh, you're up to no good. It's like, mm-hmm. It's the irony, the dangerous irony of our
Well, no,
times.
they're trying to make us more and more afraid of firearms so that more and more people don't bother having firearms. So when they have their soldiers marching down the street, we can say, "Oh yeah, our soldiers, yay!"
Yeah, it's like isolation of
Sorry,
experience.
that way.
Yeah. But in the meantime, you glorify it through the entertainment. So you watch like action films where everybody's running around with guns. But if you ever see a real gun, or you know how that they're just a tool like a saw, you know. I mean, a saw is very dangerous. You know, a bandsaw is a very dangerous tool.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
You can really
Well,
mess
if you
yourself
really
up
want
with
to,
someone else with it.
no, I don't own any firearms. That's not because I don't agree with firearms. It's just I don't have any reason to have one. I've got
Yes,
plenty
you
of blades
do.
in here
Quit
that
saying that.
I don't.
You absolutely.
I don't. Well, that is your opinion and my opinion. Yes, you have that right there, my Confederate flag, a flag that I just recently acquired.
Actually, both of them are relatively recent.
This one I got because I heard that they were going to try to do the same thing with the Mississippi, with the POW flag, call it racist.
Hey, it works.
There
Yeah,
you go,
there
man.
you go.
You fired it up. Nice.
I did.
I have this
Not
flag,
gonna last
which
very
is
long.
a flag that did fly over a base in Afghanistan.
Yep.
My brother-in-law, he's still in the military, and this flag flew at Camp Sweeney on the 16th of April to the 18th of April in 2007, and he got it, and he gave it to my wife because her birthday is April 18th.
Well, mine's April
So
3rd. So that's awesome.
now
April 3rd.
here is the other flag I own.
Jolly Rogers.
Hmm.
Hell yeah, I like flags.
That's cool,
Flags are
man.
good in my opinion.
They're very important
Look
in
at
voting.
this. Look at this.
Okay.
Torch.
Now, oh,
This is our drying rack. She loves jumping up there and then jumping over to her bed up there.
Twins, right?
Triplets, quadruplets, hell, let's have a full army going. I don't care.
That's what Sentinel was joking about. I was just carrying that on as far as. So you're having twin boys, right?
Boys? No, I'd rather have twin girls.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I'd love to have a daughter like Lavoy Finicum's daughter that's still taking care of the ranch and speaks very eloquently, I guess.
Yeah, I got a 7-year-old sleeping in the back room right now. She had a tummy ache this week, and I was going through the whole thing of I was filling up Ziploc bags with hot water and then laying like a clean dish towel over her tummy and laying it on there, and it's worked, and she's getting some good sleep right now. But that's the joys of parenthood, and it's great, man, because you get to be a nurturing male, you know.
Yes, it's awesome.
And
It really is.
an enemy to feminists, so just so you know.
Yeah, I found out
Being
that
male, and they can't like pick at you for being a traditional chauvinist, then you'll get picked on. So I am all the time.
I'm a traditional chauvinist. My own way.
Hell, I'm harder on my own gender than my gender is.
Well, you're an awakened woman for that, and I'm hard on my own gender than most men are.
Oh hell, I consider most males I've known in my past to be nothing but Neanderthalic brutes.
Most are.
Yeah.
True.
I know.
That mama boy pussies.
Oh, and don't forget the mama boy pussies. That,
I love it.
they get a sniffle and they expect the woman in their life to do everything for them.
Yep.
No, my wife absolutely is irritated. Our first couple of years together, she was irritated at me because I wouldn't let her do a damn thing. If I was sick, I was still going to do my stuff.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I can go get it for you. I'm like, nope, I can do it, so I'll do it.
Right?
I'm extremely self-sufficient that way.
You can't go smoke a cigarette for me, so I can do everything else too.
Damn straight.
Hey, there's a few things.
Well, it's that strange moment when you have. Oh, go ahead.
She said there's a few things that I've allowed her to do, but that's because either I was too weak to even lift my arm, so I wouldn't have been able to do a damn thing, or I couldn't reach the. I had a horse reach down to right back here at the lower part of my right side rib cage in the back, pick me up, and shake me like a bag of potatoes.
What'd you do to it?
I did something I didn't think about until afterwards. I petted the stud, went across the little aisle on the corrals, and pet another stud, and then I went back to that original stud. Basically, I had another stud's smell on me, and they're very competitive.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
But you know, I grew up around horses. I still am not afraid of them after that happened. I'm still like, hey, horses are awesome.
Well, no, that was entirely your fault.
Exactly, and I understood that.
Was it late spring when that happened to you, Link?
That happened?
Hold on. What'd you say, Deciduous?
Oh, I was just curious if it was late spring when that happened to you, or springtime. When that happened to you, when you got tossed around?
Late spring, about the time for the rutting season kind of thing, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the hardest time to get animals to do what we think they should do as humans. It's around springtime. Late spring, especially right before summer, they got their own agenda.
And horses that spend a lot of time around humans just consider us one of their herd, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So they will treat us like one of their herds and don't realize that they're that much more powerful and they can hurt us bad.
Right.
Yep. Because if a colt's doing something wrong, the adult horse will nip them on the shoulder or something with their teeth, saying, hey, watch out. And it hurts for a little bit, and then the colt just runs off because they got tough tough hides. Now, my wife wanted me to tell you what I said afterwards.
Yeah, I'm mixing feed while he's getting hurt, mind you.
And she's hearing, because what else are you going to do whenever a horse bites your
I didn't even hear
your
the
So
skin?
she was mixing feed while you were getting tossed around like a sack of potatoes.
Yep.
I didn't even hear you doing the whole because I was mixing feed.
But you know
Right,
what's
but-
great about that situation is that you had someone there that cared about you. You know,
Yeah.
you had someone there say, "Hey, are you all right? I just saw what happened." Because
No, she didn't see what happened. She just heard.
I said,
Oh,
thank
gotcha.
God I didn't see what frickin' happened to your sorry ass.
I told her, minus the scarring and pain, it would make one hell of a carnival ride. And I said it while the horse was still standing there looking at me like, you fucker.
Yeah, and then the next time that we come back to town, because we're 45 miles out of town, we stop by my parents' house, and he basically has my mother go Blanche White.
Telling her what happened. Yeah. I've still got the scar that it left on me. Yeah, I got a lot of scars.
Oh, wait.
It's not a scar, man. It's called a souvenir.
There you go. I got a lot of souvenirs, and I'm proud of them. I really am.
That was 8
Some are visible, some are not. But it's always a souvenir if you're still here to talk about it. You know.
It's a tempering mark. There we go. A tempering mark, because I am a sword that is going to be used, and each hammer blow leaves a slight mark on the blade
Yeah, that was nearly.
There you go.
as it's forged. Yeah, that was about 8 years ago.
Do you know what? Do you know what sex of child you're gonna have, or is it gonna be a surprise?
It's going to be a surprise. When it pops out, we're going to find out if I have a son or a daughter.
That's what I did with my daughter too, man. And she's sleeping right back here. She's like, she's gonna be 7 at March 31st, and that was the whole surprise thing. We had a home birth and did the whole like on the mountain in the tree line deal.
And how is
It's a great way to do it because you don't know.
how is,
Well,
Oh, go ahead.
is it pretty?
Go ahead, Damien.
How was the home birth? Was it pretty? Fluid?
Lots of fluids.
Well, we had all plans. We had plans to have a water birth, so I actually set up in front of the fireplace in the house we were in at that time. And this is like at 4,200 feet outside of Ashland, Oregon, up in the mountains there, right outside of Howard Prairie Lake. You know, just for geography, whatever that means. But so I'm in the tree line, and we're having an
By
early spring.
what's the hell is that called? Is there a hot springs? Bagby? Is that up by Bagby?
Bagby's not near Ashland, but there's a Lithia Springs is near the Lithia Hot Springs also is a place you could go in Ashland, Oregon that for a full, but it's kind of like a commercial deal. It's not like a raw hot springs. I always think of hot springs like springs like where you go where there's no like concrete tub, you know, where it's just like there's some rocks circled and you get in a pool of water. But I kind of have my own standards with the springs definition, but no,
Like Crystal Crane Hot Springs.
there's also
Have you ever been there?
Springs.
Yeah.
Umpqua?
I'm not familiar with Umpqua.
I know there's a milk named after it, but there's also some springs around that area for the Oregoners, because I know you're in Oregon.
Yeah.
Bagby
I'm
Hot
in
Springs is
Pumpkin
in
Hot
Oregon
Road.
also, up by Portland.
Yep.
Portland.
We
Portland.
planned on a water birth, and it didn't happen because every time she got into the water, her contractions stopped. So she ended up giving birth to my daughter on the bed, old school style with a couple midwives, and yeah, and it started snowing the next couple of days. We got snowed in, and my daughter was born, and the midwives left, and it was really great having midwives around because they helped clean up the place. I made them espresso in the morning. You know, we were up all night, and best thing ever, man. It's like one of the best moments I could ever recall, and I know it like it was just happening now. You know, it's one of those kind of experiences, you know. I don't know.
Well, we've planned in the past on our. She had two blighted ovums. I don't know if you know what that is.
What are you talking about?
I'm sorry?
It's basically the sac that the baby normally grows in. Just had liquid, no solid matter started. Basically, she got pregnant, got positive, but there was no solid matter that was starting to grow, and so it basically was a miscarriage. But we planned the water birth thing, but now because of her age and it's her first child, we're going to go to the hospital and let it happen that way so that we know what, because if she needs a C-section, what are we going to do?
No, and that's smart. That's smart because it's always about the factors, you know. And I never, you know, in talking about what I went through with my daughter being born, I'm not saying this is how you should do it. I'm not like, you have to consider the factors on, you know, what is best for your situation, and everybody's different. You just like everybody likes a different shade of color that's their favorite, you know. And I think the best thing to do is what you're doing as far as safety reasons, because you know, I was younger, and you know, my baby mama was younger, and she was in her late 20s, and we, you know, had the opportunity. We had two midwives, and we were 30 minutes away from the hospital, and that was kind of like on a limb, but at the same time, you know, it's like it wasn't what we planned even in that situation. So I think it's good what you're doing, you know, and you're going to be a happy daddy once you get to cuddle with your baby. It's going to change
I'll be happy as long as it's a healthy baby. If it and I'm
well, even if it isn't, you're still going to be a dad. I mean,
I'll be a dad, but my wife and I have already talked it out. If by some reason, and it hasn't happened, and all the ultrasounds, it shows pretty much negative, but if it was going to be like a Down syndrome baby, neither one of us would be able to handle it, so we would have given it up for adoption.
well, I can promise you this, and I don't know why I can promise you this, but you're going to be okay, and you're going to have your hands full in more ways than you can imagine. And it's going to be beautiful. It's going to change your life and open you up in so many ways you can't fathom. You know, once that child comes out and you realize you're a father and you've got responsibilities you've never even dreamed of, and that's what I mean. I'm just speaking from my own perspective. You know, it's like.
Well, I look at it this way. I'm going to look at it as. Right now, I know I could survive, and I'm willing to do anything I have to do to survive and to keep me and my wife alive. And I'm not going to do that whole Rick Grimes, oh, but we got to stay also civilized and everything, and have that whole big emotional challenge of this is the new world you live in, and this is the world you used to live in. You need to leave that world behind and be a hardcore bastard, basically. I've already got to that point where I'm going to be a hardcore bastard when it comes to survival. I'm just thinking it's going to go to the 10th degree when I have my own child that I'm going to have to protect too.
Well, that's kind of the angle that I learned from my daughter, having a daughter as opposed to a son. And that's the thing that you don't know, and you don't know which angle you're going to go. But regardless of what would have unfolded, what I learned from having a daughter was I have mastered the art of making cupcakes.
I already know that.
And we do it together. And now she was younger, but I've always made her desserts for her birthday parties, and that was a challenge to me. It's like But it's also, I think back on Miyamoto Musashi, the Book of Five Rings, and I think about the
Yes.
samurai.
Did
You
you
know?
see my backpack review?
Your backpack review?
My backpack reveal, my bug out bag reveal.
I don't think I saw that particular video. No.
Okay, in my bug out bag, I've got 2 books. One is Back to Basics,
Five Rings.
and I've got Gora no Sho, Book of Five Rings.
Nice.
This thing is
And
That's
I got that book from somebody who was training me to be a civilian assassin.
that book is amazing. Yeah, Musashi, Book of Five Rings.
He's
That's one.
awesome.
I've got a book with some ancient Japanese rope ties.
Well, let's tie some people up, right? I think we start with the Clintons.
That's exactly what it's for.
Oh wait, you got that bondage type of stuff from
No. I'm talking about torture techniques and yeah, not
Have
bond.
you
It's
seen some of those
not to be
bondage pictures?
pleasurable at all.
Some
Well,
of those-
if you want to torture someone that's of reasonable mind, all you have to do, you don't have to read books on torture and all that. All you got to do is have them marry a Kardashian.
that'll make them go batshit crazy in a second. Yep.
Well, they'll be climbing the walls and like raking their own eyes out in like 20 seconds. I mean, that's what I would be doing.
Yeah.
And I know you
The thing
guys
is,
do too.
It's too late.
if you're going to be torturing somebody, it's not good. They're not going to be in their reasonable mind, because if you have to torture them, there's a reason why you're going to have to torture them.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
there'll be a good reason too.
And torture never really was a chapter in the Book of Five Rings. Isn't that fascinating?
Book of Five Rings is all about winning a sword fight, whether it's 1, 10, or 10,000. It's the same.
Yeah.
The book of
And
Taoism.
to get that.
man, he keeps on
This
freezing.
is my perspective on the balance of. Am I freezing?
You told me to fuck off, girly.
Our cat's being all crazy. Deciduous.
It's weird. I gotta get a better bandwidth with my provider. I'm out here in a valley where I get a signal reflected through the valley. I don't have a cord or anything connected to my house or a cable, and I'm not on satellite, so I gotta upgrade my my provider. But
Oh, that's another thing we could touch base on. Are satellites even real?
Yes.
there you go.
Yeah.
Are our balls even real? Because just because we've seen them in the mirror, does it mean they exist?
Exactly.
Sorry, it's Friday night, right? It is Friday night, so we have a little liberty.
Fucked up Friday.
No, it was brought out. I actually watched a little short documentary on the billions and billions and billions of dollars it would actually take for us to put satellites up. And okay, here's a big conundrum. Okay, when they put a satellite dish up on your house to receive satellite, why don't they take that back with the shit that they installed?
That's true. It just gets left there like some sort of relic,
That's pretty much all it is. And I believe in part what the guy said, because literally, why don't satellite phones pick up signals everywhere? Because there should be, they should connect to a satellite somewhere if that's really what they're intended to do. And and Wi-Fi and all that already works on Tesla's findings, and so why not satellite too?
That's a great point. I mean, that's the hard part about trying to weave through the, take the comb of reason across the programming we've had our whole lives of what's real and what isn't, and that's a great point.
And I've looked at ISS a lot, okay, and I have never, ever, ever, ever seen a satellite shown on the ISS feed.
Mm. And then you have all that supposed footage from the International Space Station of UFOs that were leaked, or they cut away, NASA cuts away when you see something fly in the corner of the screen,
Yeah, or they black it out.
Where's that coming from? One of the big topics, too, I know that touches in with a lot of stuff that you've read, Damien, and also, I'm sure, Lynch, you're aware of the idea that eventually they're leading us up to disclosure, whether it's through the themes of the sci-fi movies we watch or whether it's through the, this is leaked NASA footage and we're slowly going to get you used to this, but we can't quite come out yet because we're not prepared yet for that understanding.
No, we've already had disclosure. Ronald Reagan disclosed that we had alien life back when he was the president.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. He was asking for, he would say, how great it would be if there was an alien threat that would unify the world. And it's like, well, you just spilt the guts on what you're going to use for your New World Agenda. New World Order agenda, huh? Yeah, it was a speech. I could find it on YouTube, but you could find it. Ronald Reagan's speech on alien threats and, the world unifying under a banner of fighting off the aliens. Yeah. It's a strange time.
How about
I'm just waiting for the aliens to...
the Battle of Los Angeles happened?
Yeah, the Battle of Los Angeles, when they were shooting like flat guns into the sky because they had all the encounters there. I mean, that was Los Angeles too. Talk about some witnesses around, huh? Even in the 50s,
Thousands of witnesses to that.
Yeah, but those were swamp balloons they were attacking. Swamp gas balloons. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I know, huh?
They just
Japanese
air and they couldn't hit them with anything.
The Japanese were ingenious with their method of attacking the mainland. They had these mechanized balloons that would release or drop off sandbags through a mechanism they released into the sky with explosive mainland. And there's still tons of them all around the mountains of Oregon and the West Coast. But I don't believe the Battle of Los Angeles was over that because it was too pronounced and too many witnesses, and there's eyewitness accounts of that.
Well, and they had huge spotlights on the thing, and they were firing all kinds of shit at it, and they couldn't hit it.
Well, and the point of that whole conversation about talking about aliens like doing anything with us. Okay, so one day we find out that we're genetically altered to be here as a slave race. Obviously, that's not too far out of what we're experiencing now. We're programmed as a slave race,
Yep.
And we've genetically altered in our past. And the funny thing is all those, with that perspective, it ties in with the accounts that we find in very old literature, whether it's the Bible or whether it's the Upanishads or Bhagavad Gita or, the stories of the Hopi. I mean, on and on, So here we are, and we've been genetically manipulated to serve some sort of purpose to a higher species that we're not aware of, or we are aware of, or we have names for them that fall in the lines of mythology for where we are now.
Right.
It could be the Nephilim, it could be the Anunnaki, it could be what the Hopi called the Sky People, or the Kachinas, the dolls they make that's still the Sky People that come down, or the Aborigine stories, and we got all these stories. So what if? What if right now we're that's why we stick out like a sore thumb on this planet, because we haven't quite realized that we've been genetically manipulated. And then you go into science, with what's all this junk DNA running around in our bodies, you know? What's this dead DNA that doesn't do anything yet? Why is it shut off? Why is it activated? And why don't we see that in other animals? Why don't we see you know, junk DNA in bears or, you know, woodpeckers or, you know, squirrels or whatever, you know?
Only in us. It's only in our DNA.
Exactly. So that's an anomaly there. Why is it only in humans that we have all this DNA that's not activated, but you have this activated DNA in other species already on the planet? And I don't know. I'm just shooting the shotgun out the back door, I guess, so to say.
Hey, I look at it this way. If aliens do exist, which, you know, only humans could be arrogant enough to think they're the only ones in a universe that is too vast to truly comprehend.
Mm.
So,
It's not
aliens
hard to
exist.
comprehend at all. We were bioengineered by an alien race and put here either one to fulfill destiny and to keep a species alive, or two, just like it says in some of the ancient manuscripts, we were made and built so that we could harvest gold for them.
Oh, so now we're going Stargate.
Well, you know, everything in television touches truth at some point.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I like the idea of the Stargate thing, just because, to me, it seems the way they put it, the SG-1 show, it just seems to be more logical and easier to wrap my mind around.
Well, they
But
do say in some of the Indian nations that there are stargates there.
yeah,
Hmm.
I saw this old picture, and because I'm a Stargate fan, SG-1 fan,
Yeah, me too. That was an
automatically,
awesome show.
huh?
I watched all those too, yeah. We're all in the same boat there.
Basically, I saw an old picture in some YouTube thing, and it showed like an archaeologist thing, and there was a Stargate. It looked a lot like the Stargate from SG-1. And I'm just sitting here going, what the hell?
Where I think that you release reality through fiction, so whenever people are confronted by reality that coincides with fiction, you write it off as like, oh, that was in a story, so it's not true.
Or
Exactly.
that,
I think
that must
Kinda
be
like
I
maybe-
think that happens more often than we realize. Whether it's 9/11 or whether it's, you know, anything that is it's like Tom. I hope you guys don't know who Tom Waits is, but anything you can think of is true.
Oh, now we're going to get into quantum theory. Okay.
To a certain extent, based on propaganda, for sure. Especially that's why I always look at what they want us to think is fiction by looking at what the most popular fiction is, and that would be definitely alien interaction or intergalactic travel, time travel. I mean, that's been blowing up over the last century. But yep, anything you can think of is true. The dish ran away with the shoe.
Sorry, I'm looking for another AAA battery because I got this really cool LED skull.
Nice, dude. Is it a mask?
No, it's here. It's just this,
Oh, nice, man.
and it's got an LED in it. I just need to get another AAA battery into it, and I can turn it on and have it showing the light.
If you could pull your head down in your shirt and put it on your like top of your head, that'd be awesome, man.
Any more ideas?
Yeah, too late, hon.
Sorry. That's the first thing I thought of, like walking around in the street, you know, with a hood over it, you know.
Oh yeah, freak everybody out.
Some of your other pride and joy.
Oh, that one? Yeah. She says, show you guys my other pride and joy. It's
Okay.
a human size. It's empty,
Whoa.
but it's a human size, and there's a glow in the dark paint speckled on it in certain areas. So once the light hits it a long enough
Uh-huh.
time, lights go out. All of a sudden, you can see the glowing, and it looks awesome.
Nice, man.
I'm a skull, grim reaper, dragon type of person.
Do you ever go to any Ren fairs?
Whenever I was in Minnesota, I worked at a Ren Fest for a bit.
Those are fun, man. I always enjoy hanging out at Ren fairs.
What was it? They had me in a shop, and I was like, sir, have you seen these magical memory boxes? You see, these little things right here, all you got to do is hit this button, point it where you want to remember it, put this button, and then once it says it's full, you gotta give it to a wizard, and he will put all those memories down on a nice little piece of paper, and you have the memories just perfect for the rest of your life. It's a memory maker.
That's
A
great.
disposable camera.
Yep. It's like describing a modern invention in medieval terms, yeah.
Yeah,
But if you
and
took
the thing is, I came up with that myself, and everybody was like, "Holy shit, that's awesome!"
You will get a hose down.
When my cat starts wandering back and forth all over the place, we use water as a deterrent.
Oh, there you go, like a spray bottle.
Yep.
There you go.
Otherwise known as the tub.
Yeah, I'll turn the faucet on. I'll lift her tail up and stick her butt underneath of it.
Yeah, it's not as messy as peeing on them directly.
Exactly.
Yes, it is.
Just kidding.
Yeah,
Yeah,
people are gonna. Oh, you're mean. You know,
My brother was mean.
if
this
you
is a great Friday
don't-
night, huh?
Yeah, Friday night, freak out Friday night. Let's see how many people we can freak out.
I know, huh?
Where's Damien at? He keeps running off. I think we're boring Damien.
Smoke again. I don't think the vaporizer did it for him.
Yeah, me neither. But you got to kind of work up to it. I might have to get some more AAAs, huh?
Yeah,
Kind of sucks.
well, we'll be out and about tomorrow anyway.
Is there any remotes you can raid for the AAAs?
Most of our remotes take double A's.
Yeah, most of them take AA's or I'm using them, but there is one that might. The DVD player.
Just an idea. I always raid remote. I need like a battery. If I have any around. I've only got like 2 remotes. They're all doubles, but
Selena, I just got and park it.
there you go. You gotta turn off
Yeah.
all your lights.
Yeah, can you turn off your light real quick?
Yes.
Yeah, we're just going to show this off for right now, and then we'll get back to it.
No, that's awesome. Dun 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 dun. Oh, there you go.
Let's turn that off.
You gotta hold it in front of your head. Oh, there you go. That's perfect. Nice, dude. Now you gotta give me your skull voice. Let me hear your skull voice.
I don't know what a skull voice would be like.
That's for you to decide, not me.
I am kinda thin bone. I don't know.
That's good, man. No, you got it. You nailed it. You nailed it.
We can go back to the lights now.
There you go. Yeah, I don't know where Damien went, man. I see
I
his
don't know.
chair
I
though.
think we bored the crap out of him.
I think the skull did it, man.
She looks directly this way, honey.
He was gone before the skull.
That's true.
So basically, it is no longer the Damien Maynard show. It is Deciduous Falling and Lynx.
Damien will be back.
Ooh, ooh, on a Friday night.
Oh, hell yeah.
Well, we're coming up on 10 p.m. in Oregon here, but I know he's on like East Coast time, so it's like 10, 1, almost 1. Where he's at.
Yeah,
So-
it's 5-1 right now.
Holy shit, he's
Oh, there you
back.
go.
Sorry,
No, it's all good, man.
I'm just kind of popping in and out. I got to do a couple things here and there, you know.
Hey, man. We were just talking about how time travel is possible because we're doing it right now. You're in the past and we're in we're in the past and you're in the future. So we wanted to ask you what the future's like.
It's dark, and I don't know. I guess it's okay.
Do they have coffee?
Yes.
Then we'll be okay in the future. Oh, thank God.
As long as they have coffee, we'll be fine.
As long as
As
they're
long as they have coffee in the future, everything will be okay.
Yeah.
Did you see the skull he put batteries for, man? Check it out, Damien. He's got like the skull going on.
I've actually got it to where it'll hang right up here. This
Uh-huh.
right here. So in the middle of the night, if I want, it could be right there.
There you go.
And it's LED light, so it takes a long time to burn out the batteries.
There you go.
So,
Happy Friday.
how's your calving season going?
What?
You got cows, right?
Oh, yeah, the cows. I'm sorry, I didn't hear that part. I'm getting a couple more younger cows coming up in the spring, and I'm going to throw them in, and then I'm on a co-op kind of system with some people in the area, so we all kind of pitch in, and then we slaughter them, and we all get meat from it, and we kind of cycle that out every year. We got a breeder up the street that's organic, and a friend's moving in up the street that's got some goats with some goat milk going on, so that's going to be closer than it was before. It was a good drive before to get it, so working that out now.
How's calving season, though? I
Here's a
grew up on a
question for
ranch,
you
so I know
guys.
calving season's important.
Well, luckily I'm not involved with the calving season. I get them after they're born,
Oh,
and,
okay.
and then I raise them. Yeah, I don't raise the cattle myself. I take them when they're babies and then raise them in the back paddock and then have them slaughtered.
very nice.
Yeah, I wish I had the time to be in breeding and stuff, but that's a whole other angle.
That's a whole
Oh,
different
yeah.
monster entirely. Holy cow.
Yeah,
I grew up around it, so I know pretty much all about it.
it's awesome, man.
Yeah, I grew up doing pigs and cows and sheep and all kinds of stuff for the whole birthing season.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, did you raise them or did you just do them?
No, that was someone else's job.
Well, you know what the trick is? You
Raise
get your
them.
waders, you get the waders, and you take your favorite goat out to the cliff, and you
That's only
stick
if
your
you're
back
Muslim.
legs in the waders, and you know, take care of business, right?
That's only if you're Muslim. White people do sheep.
Isn't that terrible? Hey, it is Friday night, though. I guess we can
And
go
that's
there,
only
right?
if you live in Montana. Where men are men and the sheep are scared.
And they got a damn right to be scared.
I like it. You guys can go there and not judge me for it.
I don't judge anybody until their actions prove for not judging
Yeah.
or for judging then.
Well, I'm glad you appreciate this humor. Without humor, we're lost, man. If we can't, one thing I was trying to figure out is how can we still laugh in the midst of what's going on? You know, how are we still gonna make fun of it all while we're experiencing it? It's a tragedy, but we still got to bring the comedy out somehow. You know.
There will probably be a time when no comedy will be given.
Oh, I'm just waiting for a time when comedy will be banned by a bummer.
Oh,
And
that can
bring
be
it.
banned. That's within the hearts of the people. That's something that can't be banned.
I know. And that's why we got to keep it alive, even in these moments, these dark times, you know? That's
I
why
have-
we say things to each other like, smell my finger and guess where it's been.
It's a cookie dough.
I got to get another beer for that one.
And I got to go get something to drink too. Okay, everybody's had a slight break. You guys just have to live through it. You understand that, right, Thor? You can live through a slight break. Why
Hello?
would we allow call-ins? We're having a good enough time without
Great.
extra people.
Thor, how are you?
Oh,
Without laughter, we are
call-in.
lost. We got to find a way to laugh amidst all this dark stuff going on.
You on Hangout?
Here's the thing for me, Deciduous. I
Yeah?
have said for many years,
Are you on
I hate
G
the world as it really is, and if I didn't laugh, I'd cry.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty much it.
I think Damien was kind of talking about it.
Well,
Ian likes to talk to.
give me a second here, and I will add you to the conversation.
Oh, there you
Well,
go.
we don't need a. We don't
Somebody
need
else
an
is going to
interloper.
join, yo. We got another Friday nighter coming on. I just cracked a beer, so I'm...
Yeah.
Who do we got? We got Thor
I'm
coming in.
working on
Damien?
getting off tobacco right now, and let's see, it's Thor. What?
Yep, it's Thor.
Nice.
What's
Thor
you go by
Anderson.
Thor? What?
Anderson.
Yep. Thor Anderson.
Oh, 4 wins. Thor 4 wins. There we go. I'm gonna add you to the conversation, and I'm gonna invite you, and then you just accept the invite, and then come on.
Well, he has Thor Anderson in the chat room. He's lying to us.
It should pop right up.
Chat room to save on my bandwidth here.
So I'm gonna invite you. It's gonna send you the invite right now, and then you just answer the invite and jump on. It'll be on Google Hangouts, so you'll have to be on Google Hangouts.
I know he's used it before. We did a Google Hangout with Thor before.
Yeah, we did. Do I need to send it again?
So can I tell a really dirty joke right now?
Yeah, it's Friday.
That's right. What do you call two? This is a great Oregon joke too, just because of the history here. What do you call two lesbians in a canoe going upriver? You guys hear that? Two lesbians in a canoe going upriver. What do you call them?
Oh no, what?
Fur traders.
Yeah.
Sorry. A gay friend told me that, so hey. I felt legitimized by conveying it because
All right. What do you call a lesbian dinosaur?
Okay, I'm gonna send you it again, Thor.
Nicolopus?
Are you?
What do you call a gay dinosaur?
I don't know.
Megasaurus.
Okay, well, I'm sending it right now.
I've
What
got a
did
lot
one
of
gay sperm
lesbian
do
and
to
gay
the other gay
friends,
sperm?
and they laugh
Gonna
hard at
say
those.
that you're invited to Google Hangout.
Now we've opened that can of worms, huh?
Yeah, well,
Well, here's one. What did one gay sperm say to the other gay sperm?
Oh no, what?
How are we supposed to find an egg with shit?
How are we supposed to find what?
you were.
All this shit.
Did you find it, Thor?
Oh, how are we supposed to find the egg in all this shit? Okay. That's it. Yeah. Uh-oh. Damien's going into their
Oh, yeah.
extinct.
No. All right. Well, at least we still have our health. And
For
beer.
now,
Yeah.
you go ahead and have beer. I'll just keep on with my
I invited
late gray iced tea.
I'm going to tone it down. That was over the top, I guess. That was too much.
For what?
I don't know. Trying to self-regulate for some unknown reason. It's always my dilemma, you know.
Trailer Park Boys podcast. Sounds like fun,
You
Clark
say
Kent.
you're invited to, and then you accept or decline. I think that's how it works.
Yeah, if you found him and you invited him, he should be able to pop right on, because that's how I got on here.
Yeah, he's. Here, let me try it one more time. I don't know. Today's March 11th, I think, or the 12th.
I'll
It's
tell
11.
some kid jokes. I know a kid joke. Why did the girl throw the butter out the window?
Why? I
She
know.
wanted to see a butterfly.
I'll tell you another one.
Why did the little girl roll an egg down the roof?
Yes.
She wanted to see an egg roll.
Just accept it.
Okay, here's a question
Ridiculous,
for
huh?
you. Now,
All right.
you got a rooster sitting up on top of the house, right there at the very peak of the house. And if he lays an egg, which side would it roll down?
It's a tough one. I don't know.
It won't roll down any side.
Yeah, exactly. It wouldn't roll down any side because roosters don't lay eggs.
That's right.
Oh, there you go. I was waiting for a punchline, so I was playing along.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I don't know roosters don't lay eggs out here. That's for sure.
Do you got a coop?
Oh yeah, I got a coop. I had to take care of my neighbor's chickens tonight because they were going to Coos Bay.
Should pop right into the screen.
They're taking a little trip to Coos Bay, and they're like, he knocked on the door and he's like, "Hey, can you
Should
you
be.
know, Coos Bay? Can you put the chickens up?"
There's me and Lynx and Deciduous. So maybe I need to go ahead and refresh it.
Is he in Google Hangouts, Damien?
Are you in Google Hangouts right now?
If he's on, you should have a green dot next to his name if you've added him.
Yes. Just accept it.
There you go. We're gonna have Thor up in here, yo. Thor's gonna drop some knowledge in like
right there.
He's having difficulties.
I know he's used Google Hangouts before because I've done it with him, with Thor. We've used him the Hangout thingaloogie. I need my masks out.
Hey, you want masks?
Oh, you got the skull, man. You got the ultimate. I got my Applegate firefighter's hat. Oh, there you go.
How's
Awesome.
this for mask?
Okay. Then you should be joining us if you're accepted.
Well, this is a different form of programming. I got my daughter's school flute here that she's been practicing. It's too small for my fingers, but
Oh, nice.
Um,
yeah, I think she's better at it than me.
okay, stay right there and don't go anywhere out of there. And I'm
It's, I, remember the fourth of the fifth, actually, not the fourth.
Oh, I love bringing my masks out.
yes.
They're always fun.
Have you
Okay.
thought about the names for your?
You need to get off your phone, right? If you're gonna get on it.
For the children? Yeah. We've already got
Yeah,
names
if
picked out.
it's,
Okay.
what are you thinking about? I'm just curious. You don't have to tell me if you don't want to. I totally understand, but
What's
Wife
that now?
says keep them secret.
you're gonna keep them secret.
Main reason for that is my wife's family, if they don't like a name, they'll be like, oh, no, you should pick another, and they'll pressure you until you pick the name they want for it.
Oh,
So we're like, fuck no, we're using our own damn names.
That's
what
right.
we choose.
Yep.
I,
Oh, no, man.
I
It was
told
just-
I told Brandy, I said, I want a name that no one else has. I want my children to have names that nobody else has. Nobody. I already
Exactly, man. You know, it was funny. My daughter was born, and for 2 weeks after she was born, she had no name.
Really? That's freaking awesome.
She was born, and it's like we didn't know what she was going to be. She was a girl. For 2 weeks, we sat around, and I'm like, okay, what name does no one have? And here's what I came up with. But sadly, now it's a video game, apparently. Mythea. Mythea. That's her first name. But there's not many people that have that name, so at least, you know, that's a start.
Yeah, I have a name picked for a boy, which I've had this name picked for 20 freaking years, waiting for my son to be born. And I've not had
Uh-huh.
kids. So I'm waiting for my son to be born so that I can give him this name, which I'm not going to say because somebody will grab it up.
Totally. Yeah, keep it to yourself. I don't have a problem saying Mythea now because it's out there and she's 7, so somebody's got a lot of catching up to do, you know, so it was either that or Matthias. If she were a boy, she was going to be Matthias, and since she was a girl, it was Mythea. So it's kind of like a spin-off of Athena, but without the Greek reference, direct Greek reference.
Well, I guess that you could say mine would be a spin-off off of something, but I don't know. I guess it would be shortened or whatever, but it's not in relation to that at all.
Yeah, I was.
The name,
Oh, go ahead.
the names that my wife and I have picked out together are names from books we have read, from characters we absolutely loved in those books.
This whole talk brings up the whole idea of having a spiritual name. Have you guys ever had anyone that ever like chose a spiritual name when they reach a certain point in their life where they're like, I am no longer John that you knew me as, I am now whatever, you know? Have you guys ever encountered that?
Yes.
What do you
I've
think of that?
encountered it. I'm just thinking to myself, okay, you're trying to make yourself into an image that you're wanting to be. I
you go.
agree with that to a degree because I used the links here, Linx.
Uh-huh.
If you know anything about the Canadian lynx, the cat,
Oh, yeah.
Right.
it has there's old stories about it, how when it stares at you, it sees directly in your soul, and it's very unsettling. I earned this nickname because somebody in my basic training course, in basic training, watched me stare down a drill sergeant. And that's where he called me Lynx, and I changed it instead of Lynx, I changed it to Linx. From there on, that's a name I earned and I'm proud of.
How long did that take to do that, to stare down your drill sergeant?
It took about
Had to be like at least 30 minutes plus, right?
15 seconds.
Right.
Whatever he saw in my
Oh,
eyes
nice,
when he
dude.
was looking at me and yelling at me, he couldn't handle it and he walked away.
Nice, dude.
So I'm proud of it.
Never be in the same room with you again.
Yeah,
That's a
the
great-
other
that's a
drill
great
sergeants
story,
would pick on him. They would try to get him in a room alone with me. Each time he would walk into that room, see me alone, he'd turn around and walk out.
Nice.
I must have scared the shit out of him on something. I still don't know what the hell he saw. I just know I did it.
Well, that's the
Deep into your dark soul.
I have nothing but a dark soul. What the hell are you talking about? I am evil.
you realize
tell
that you have a
people I'm
tape braid
evil.
that can create the bells and whistles did.
Sorry, didn't hear that deciduous what?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just saying that just the idea of spiritual names, you know, of having like a turning point in your life where you say, I am no longer Matt or deciduous or whatever. I am now such and such. But I've seen abuse of that, you know, where it's like I can escape all of my previous experiences and invent a social construct that allows me to not have accountability.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Accountability by taking on a new persona, and that's really scary to me. Because we are the accumulation of our pasts and also the potential of the future, but the only place we'll ever be, the irony of that is right now and right here. That's the only place we ever exist, but we always try to adjust in the now based on what we think has happened and what will happen.
Right.
Well, here's something that give a lot of people nightmares, and I'll flat out say it. Your body changes every night, so when you go to sleep, the person you were is dead. The person that wakes up the next morning is a different person. Your cells
It
divide.
can be.
Your brain chemistry alters a bit. You are a different person than the one that went to bed that night before.
Yeah.
Now we're going to have people that won't be able to sleep because they want to stay the same.
No, I like that change in reality. In fact, sometimes when I wake up from dreams, like I had this I had this fucked up dream the other night. And
What was it, man? I want to hear about your dream, Damien. Now you've intrigued me. I really want to know what your dream was, unless you don't want to tell it, and that's fine.
no, I have absolutely no problem. Check it out. I was driving down the road, and I'm in this car, and
Mhm.
I can see the car that I'm driving, okay, through another lens. And
Oh.
the funny thing about this was I got out of this car, and I guess the cops are looking for me. I have no reason. I have no idea why. But I get out of the car, and I'm jogging down the sidewalk, and this cop's like, hey, can I talk to you? And I'm like, sure, why not? And then all this shit started happening. Like, they wanted to ask me questions about something, and I'm like, I don't have to answer any of these, right? But this is going to be my normal answers anyway. But and then my dream ended, and I'm like in this room with the police officers, and I'm dressed in this jogging gear, and I think maybe I was barefoot. And
You were incarcerated in your dream.
huh?
I mean, you were potentially incarcerated in your dream based on being barefoot and having a jumpsuit and being in a room with officers based on your encounter in your dream. You dreamed of being controlled and being incarcerated.
Yeah, but see, the whole thing was, oh no. No.
I thought I saw Thor pop up for a second there. Did you see that too?
It's possible. I almost stopped the broadcast, I think.
I did. It's live.
Yes.
Bad, Damien. Bad.
Except. Yes, except.
Did you find Thor on there?
I found Thor, and I told him to accept.
You know, I had a dream like that once too, just like a couple weeks ago. Oh, what does this say? He is Thor. Oh, Thor's on there. You are in this video call with.
I'm here.
I'm getting text messages from Thor.
No, that was
But
from
I
me.
don't see him.
Oh, that was from you. Oh, okay. It says he is Thor and me up.
New.
Nub. Right, noob.
No,
There you go.
which is my friendly insult to my friends online. Whenever whenever you're gaming, you call somebody a noob.
You
So
know,
I call people nubs.
Nubs.
what's funny about the gaming thing? I used to test video games.
Used
I
to?
used-
What the hell you stopped for? That would have been awesome.
I lived in a van and tested video games at Electronic Arts in Marina del Rey in Southern California for like 3 years. I tested Boom Blocks and then Mercenaries 2 and Medal of Honor Airborne. And yeah, that was it. That was the 3 games I worked on.
Okay, so I was
what,
going to say, earlier we were talking about, okay, past and present and future and blah, blah, blah. Have you guys, either one of you, checked into remote viewing?
Oh,
Yes.
that's easy.
Okay, I want to hear Link's take on this.
Remote viewing is basically, if you look at it at a scientific level, it is your brain accessing the quantum physics and thinking at a distance and being able to see things beyond your normal sight. If you take a more spiritual stance to it, you're basically sending out a tendril of your soul to be able to watch and see something from or search for something that you should not be able to see with your normal eyes from where you're at that place.
Right. Okay, well, have you tried it?
No, my talents go to something different.
Check this out. I have done it.
How did that work out for you, Damien?
It worked really great, actually.
Really? What did you remote view?
I remote viewed. Check this out. There are a couple of videos on YouTube, and actually it kind of goes through the steps of remote viewing and how to do it and whatnot. And it's actually it's kind of a learned process, but it's kind of not at the same time. It's not something you learn; it's something you do. And so
It's instinctual.
yeah, it's something your brain can naturally do. So what they do is they put an envelope on the wall, okay? And they tell you to visualize this envelope, okay? What's inside this envelope. And
Isn't that a Johnny Carson trick? That wasn't it on a Johnny Carson show? Remember when he put the back in the day? I'm sorry.
oh, yeah, his like Swami thing. I used to love that.
Yeah. I know. It just reminded me of my childhood, and that's why I threw it out there. But anyhow.
Anyway, no, this is some real shit that the government actually uses. And within this envelope was a picture, okay? And or I think it was a picture. Anyway, they did a couple of rounds of it, and I can't see you, Thor.
Is he here?
Right? He says he can hear me in the headphones.
We don't see you in here at all, Thor.
No,
Okay, Damien, I'm going to run you through this real quick, okay?
yeah, I know
I
how
want
to
you-
do it. I've done it
I
like
want
4
you to
times.
post on the little chat room on the side of this Google
Oh,
Hangouts we got.
hold on. I know what you're going to say.
I'm gonna pee while you guys figure this out, just so you know. I'm
I
gonna be
know
right.
exactly what you're going to say, and I got it.
I just needed the
Okay,
The
so Thor, I'm posting it in the chat room. So you go to that, and you're going to immediately come into the Hangouts.
you should. He'll get there. And if you really want to start talking quantum physics, quantum theory, I'm all up for it because
Now,
I understand it a lot.
I'm very serious when I said like, a lot of the stuff, because see what they do is they run you through this list of things that you do. Okay, you see colors, you write down what colors you see. You see lines. You're not looking for a specific anything at all. You are going through this list of things that are going to hey, there's Lynx, or I mean, there's Thor. Hello, Thor.
He's having trouble speaking.
We can't hear you, Thor, but we can see your icon. But anyway, you go through this whole list of things. Hey.
There he is.
All right, carry
Right.
on. I'm very interested, and I'll chime in later.
Okay.
So inside this envelope is a picture of something they want you to see, okay? Or they want you to try and see if you can figure out what it is, okay? But you're not really trying to figure out anything. Your brain is doing all the work. And so this is like an 1.5 hour long program, or 2 hours long, or something like that. And he explains what remote viewing is, and then he takes you through the steps, and then you actually do it. Inside this envelope that they stick on the wall, you're looking at this envelope, and they're telling you to imagine what's in it, okay, to see what's in it. And then you start drawing stuff, lines or circles or whatever you see. Okay, well, one of the ones that I saw, you know, there were lines going across water, and there was rocks to the side of those lines and whatnot, and it ended up being a fucking bridge that was over the water. So, and they have you draw these obscure things, but they all fit together somehow.
Okay.
It was really cool.
Great look there, Lynx.
What, the darkness and everything?
The light's reflecting only on your glasses, and that's all we see is a silhouette of a head and
Yeah, I see a shiny
glasses.
head too.
Great. It's really good. Terminator.
I am plugged in.
Right
I
there.
am a viewer.
I have a little bit of hair that's grown back on my head, just a little bit, but you can still see the reflection off my head.
Yeah, that's that hot light. A grip would have had that dialed down just a bit.
How you doing, Thor?
DF, you're looking fine. Hey, buddy, I see you.
That's good to know that things are working. I've been working out all kinds of tech issues, but that's another story. It's
Any
great to have.
chance?
What's that?
Any chance that you can join us in our show down in Atlanta, or perhaps on one of our radio or TV shows? Lynx is already invited, and we're going to invite Damien right now. What we have is the focus. We have the pulse of the entire prepper and survival industry with the TV show, with the digital magazine, with the print magazine, with the 5 shows that we are co-producing across the United States, and we're hooked up through Lynx and Mike and Eric and all you guys to the best people on the internet, and also all the guys that came over from Pete. So we have a place to focus our energies to disseminate the information. You know, and hey, you know Vince, he's my partner, okay? You know, we're trying to just, like tone him down a bit so he doesn't get picked up along with
Pete.
our buddy James Yeager, okay, and all those other people. I mean, these guys are throwing the net out, okay, and everybody better watch their six.
Oh yeah. It basically Thor came in here to plug his show in and invite more people. He's
No, our
recruiting.
show, okay? This is Vince, okay? Vince is my partner. We are
Vincent
all
Von Doom,
partners
in case
in
anybody didn't know.
spreading the information.
In case anybody was wondering who Vince is, it's Vincent Von Doom. He's been on Spitfire show quite a bit. He's that Italian-looking motherfucker. He's the one that had a cold and he was trying to get a cannoli through his nostril.
Hey, cannolis are fucking good.
No, wait, cheese calzone, he said. That's what it was.
Oh, I don't like calzones.
You know, we hear a lot about people complaining about how come we don't have a coordinating effort to do something. We've got the pinnacle. We've got the box, the space, the coordinating effort. We got the show, okay. Put up or shut up. I mean, come on. Come up on the show. Come up on the TV. Come up on the video. Come up on I mean, yeah, right there, DF. We want you, people like you, to speak out. Eric's going to be down at our show in Atlanta doing a live remote.
Awesome.
So that should say something.
If I can be a part of that somehow and help you out, and honestly, I'm going to be like throwing out like references to friends that are doing stuff around here, like Southern Oregon bokashi. Boom. It's like inoculate, you throw in your soil, it grows better plants, but you know, that's like a whole other side angle based on where we're going. If we're going to talk about aliens, or we're going to talk about like what's going on in Burns, or we're going to talk about, you know, it's all about, you know, content and where it's focused. And
all of it's related, though.
It's all
We can
related.
talk
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about all of that right off the top of our heads. Listen to Vince, and you seen what, you know, who I am and why I'm out there. It's all about the truth and sharing the information. That's why I wanted to get in and talk to you again, is because the stream of consciousness and where the show goes is what the reality of the people are feeling. And you are very nice at epitomizing what the feeling is. A lot of people feel what you do, but they can't verbalize as well as you and Damien and Lynx and Mike and, you know, Pete. Okay, free Pete. All right, so that's the point here. I mean, this is coming down to a short strokes.
But here's the deal, though. This is stuff that I've talked about for years with other people. So I have absolutely no problem coming off with this off the top of my head, because these are things that I really believe in. These are things that I consciously have thought about. These are things that have been brought up in circles that I sit in. And so all of this is on a conscious further level, you know? I do believe that we were bioengineered. I do believe we were put here for a reason, not just to be slaves, but to further maybe inhabit the universe, or what, you know?
You are a rogue at spirit, and you are a rogue to throw in something into the mix that is not predictable. And that is what all of us are here for right now. The only reason we're doing the only reason we're talking in this chat right now is because we have a rogue DNA that is trying to fight to get out. You know, that's what I feel. I mean, that's just me.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
And the only reason that we can't make sense of what's happening and why we feel inspired to do what we're doing is because we're pushed from a place we can't understand yet, but we want to understand it, and we reach out to others that can understand us through our own experiences from what we've been through. And I think that's what we're pushing toward. I don't know.
So then you understand that we all chose to come here at this time and place to change the world. Nothing happens by chance. We're here. Okay, you could have been someplace else, okay? I mean, there's a whole lot of chat rooms to be around the internet, but there's only one that has the truth. And you're here.
Well, I am
the only one that has the truth. It's the only one at this time, probably, but...
Okay, I might have been a bit facetious on that. I'm sure there's a lot of other places out there that claim to know the truth. But hey, we are here in this time and place and sharing the energy, the information, the knowledge to change the world.
Oh,
Let's
where
go
the
for
fuck
it.
did you get that mask? I want that mask. I want one of those.
The Guy Fawkes with the hood, yo. That's like the upgrade right there, you know.
I want that. I gotta get me one of those.
Well, I do know this is that my best work is done with a shovel in my hands, with the soil, and that also I don't claim to know any truth, but I'm looking for it, and I'll never be done with that, and there is no finish line. We'll never be finished with it, but I will always support those who feel like that we're moving in a direction that can support others around us that are pretty much the fringes or the outcasts of our environment that we were born in, you know?
Right. Well, see, there a lot of what I think may be speculation, but I derive my information from thousands of years of culture and writing, and so my opinions are based on knowledge, and maybe not my knowledge, but my interpretation of the knowledge that's been passed down through thousands and thousands of years. And I don't base all of my knowledge strictly on, say, like the Bible. The Bible has some really nice stories in it, and it's got some really good fountains of knowledge in it. But there's texts that are thousands of years older than the Bible, in which they give more direction and thought and even more perception, because it hasn't been stomped on and relegated to something that, you know, that the masses are taking in as it's given to them. So it's more open to interpretation.
And what you just said right now inspires me to say this, is that the masses are always going to be inspired by finding something that is concrete, something that is unchangeable, that will never change. So you can stick it into a box, you know, and you contain it. So you know you're on the winning team if you're right with Christ, or you know you're on the winning team if you're right with Muhammad. You know you're on the winning team if you're right with Buddha. You know, whatever, you know. But at the same time, all of the world religions that ever existed are because there were mystics that had experiences that conveyed a message that people could not understand. And so over time, people tried to make it where you could understand, where you could put it in a box. But the problem is that if we're not comfortable with the mystery, we're always going to be uncomfortable. So if we make ourselves comfortable with the mystery of what this is, because there is nothing that we can say about this that defines it completely, whether it's through the scripture or through whatever scripture it is you're reading. And the beauty of it is that if we can make ourselves comfortable with the mystery of this living experience we're having right now, talking through technology, sitting here in front of cameras and doing whatever we're doing right now on a Friday night, you know, if we can say the mystery is okay, I'm okay with the unknown, I accept the unknown, I applaud the unknown, and I will move forward through the unknown, then we can take that and build a foundation for human relations where it's like we can grow now. But until then, we're going to be stuck in this box that's just so stifled and just nothing there. There's no air to breathe, and it's all stuffed in, and we're worshiping people on dying on crosses, and we're, you know, talking about, you know, all this, you know, anyhow. Sorry, I'm going to go on a rant there, getting emotional, but anyhow, if we celebrate the mystery as opposed to repress it, then we can move forward. Otherwise, we're going to be damned to repeat the same mistakes that's happened for the last 3,000, 10,000 years, you know?
Right.
That was my little rant. I'm going to shut up now.
No, but that's true, because if we can't find something more spiritualistic and relevant in our lives, because let's face it, individuality is good, but having a common knowledge of things is better. And if we all can come together in a common knowledge of things and spiritualistically, not religiously, then it's far more better for us because we have an understanding of each other.
There you go.
As a human race, not just a religious race or I mean a religious faction or what have you, you know, or even come down to genus, you know. If we live separately as blacks and whites and Chinese and Japanese and blah blah blah, then that brings a great divide between all of us. But if we can live in a spiritualistic fashion where all of us are sharing knowledge, then it becomes much better off.
The wisdom and the advancement
Damien,
that we're in from that is amazing. Yeah.
Damien, the link I just put in that little side thing there is a link to eBay that has a crap load of Guy Fawkes masks.
Oh, really?
Yep. Go
Right
check it out.
on. I am going to check that out.
They're pretty cheap.
Are you still there, Thor?
Oh yeah, I was away for a minute, but I have a rather close relationship with Anonymous. If you guys would care to follow that up.
I appreciate them. I like them. I am not going to become one of them because I am not good at hacking.
Hold it, stop. That is the erroneous assumption of what Anonymous, the real white hats, are about. We are about peaceful change through education. The rest of this government hacks out there, you can tell by the flavor of the posts of who they are. All right, I have a whole lot of stuff under my name that relates to Anonymous, Thor Four Winds, across social media that is the real deal. Do not be misinformed by the various...
I lost him.
Okay. I misspoke myself. I apologize, Thor.
He got outed.
Thor, he
left. I
didn't do that.
apologize. I misspoke myself. I should have said I am more comfortable with being right here in the chat and being going to the masses and letting them know what I think, what I feel, what truths I find.
Here's my problem with that. I don't have to wear a fucking mask in order to tell people the truth. And although I like what Anonymous does, and I'm not against Anonymous at all, because they've literally they have taken mass information away from the government and given it to the people. So I respect that. But my whole point is, I would rather be here with my face, telling people with my face, you know.
That's one of the things that I've been working out, of trying to figure out how I can show who the fuck I am with my face. This is my physical being, and here I am. I'm not some sort of computer-generated thing, to bring a reality into the taboo of non-reality, you know? This is just what I got to work with, man. And it's like, not being afraid of that and saying, well, I'm too scared to even show my face on some sort of live broadcast. I don't give a shit, because that's the only thing we got left, man. If we can't be who we are, we're what have we got left? You know? We're going to hide behind, like, you know, masks. And again, I like your mask links. I'm not saying about the mask you were wearing, because I wear masks.
Awesome.
And I'm just saying, he shows his face, I show my face, you show your face. Here we are. Boom, here we are. You know,
Yeah,
this
we
is
are faces.
You know? Yeah. This is the physical being we have to work with right now. Now the mystery of that's a whole other topic, and we can go into that. But in the meantime, I'm not going to hide some image or pretend that I'm computer-generated way to get messages out to the masses in a way that's secretive of my own identity. It's like, that's not true. That's not true. We got to be true to what we're believing in, or what we. Oh, he just joined again. Sorry, I saw the notice.
Are you okay, Thor?
Yeah, really. I just mentioned Anonymous and I get hacked. Yeah, very funny, guys.
I anytime I see Anonymous, I like to watch them because they always bring up that to me they are like a hidden power that shows themselves whenever it's really needed.
Depends on who posts the posts. Okay,
Yeah.
there's 100,000 different people who think they're anonymous, and you sort out the 100 out of that 1,000 that are real. Just look at what is being said. We are for the truth. We are for peaceful revolution. We are for understanding. All the rest of that crap that gets put out there under the name doesn't count. You understand? I mean, here's one of my things on Anonymous. Okay.
Get ready to
Here
get
we are,
kicked.
right there. Okay. I mean, we've done OpSafe Winter across the world for many years. Y'all understand what that is? It's about helping everyone, including the homeless, down to putting socks on their feet or a blanket on them, okay? That's what we're up to. All the rest of this shit, when somebody comes on there and says, we want to go out and hang people and kill them, okay, that's the fringe element. Those are the agent provocateurs that we have busted many times at various protests, okay? So go with your gut.
That's only because they're saying out loud what we're not saying out loud. And
Somebody has to take the forefront, okay? I was recon. Oops.
Somebody's got to be the meat shield.
Were you a tunnel rat?
That was the thing that I got involved with was.
No comment. I hate close enclosures, by the way.
You hate close encounters?
Yeah, well, no, Close Encounters, I mean, actually, Julia Phillips was a friend of mine when she was making Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and there's a whole lot of stories about that, which you'll find on my web channel. But, no, I was not a tunnel rat, okay? I don't like those kind of things. I prefer long range.
What was the last
Let's go away from this, okay? Back to where we were. DF, okay? Go ahead.
Sorry, it was just a question.
I wanted to know what Thor's last. What was your last dream you had while you were sleeping one night?
Oh, that's interesting that you say that. It was about water. It was about rushing water and climbing out above it, actually, and I saw it in the mountains here where I live in North Georgia above the dam. But I'm so far up in the above that it won't count, even with the Navy map of what is going to be after the whatever is going to happen when the new bid goes out. Okay, I'm above that.
So you had a dream
I lived.
Overwhelmed by water?
Not overwhelmed. It was rushing up, and I was above it.
For sure.
Okay, and that may be because while I moved out of Florida, as I felt that before. But other than that, I haven't had any really disaster-encountered dreams because I'm up here in God's country. I'm a volunteer firefighter, and all my friends are sheriffs and have guns. They will never take Rabun County, okay? And that's a direct quote from my friend Frank Andrews, the sheriff, who I do his trees. Okay, he doesn't want the feds in here, and I mean, he considers Raven County his private fishing hole, and quite frankly, he likes the fact that many of the people he knows are armed to the teeth. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that always kind of throws a wrench on the agenda there when people are armed to the teeth, huh?
Most of Georgia is. I mean, whenever the shit hits the fan, those folks who think they're going to come from Atlanta and come up here and poach the farms and the few denizens of the forest that there are. I mean, this is not like Colorado when there was deer everywhere. You ran over them, okay? This is North Georgia, and they ain't going to make it through the filter of the people below us to Habersham County. I mean, these guys are rednecks, okay? You know, I'm from Colorado, okay? I've never seen things like up here where they will defend their turf to the death, you know, and they consider anyone that ain't from here poachers.
So the dream you had, you were above the water, but it was rushing all around you.
That I think that was from my fears in Florida of what if we go under, because I'm so far up here that it ain't gonna happen. Okay, but somewhere in there, and maybe that's why I moved from California. Okay, maybe that's why I moved from Washington when I lived up there, but I was in Central Washington.
Right? That was a dream that you had recently?
No, that was the last one I ever had about a disaster.
How long ago was that? How many years ago?
Oh, 10 years or so, right after I got involved over on Above Top Secret, and then way before Fukushima, which took my
Wait a minute. I didn't ask you for your last disaster dream. I asked for your last dream ever, like the last dream you've ever had.
No, that's interesting.
The last dream you had. What was the last dream you had?
I can't tell you that. Okay, I don't recall that. That's interesting.
That's what I was asking for. Not the last disaster dream, because I mean we can get fear porn all day long on the internet, you know, and we can,
right.
You know, I want to know what the last dream you had as a living human being while you're having this experience was. And if you don't want to say that, that's fine. I just wanted to ask.
No, it's just trying to quantify it, because I have peaceful sleeps, but trying to recall the last dream. Let me call my friend Colin Wilson here, and I'll get right back to you.
Well, is Colin going to tell you what dream you had?
I know, I'm kidding. Okay, you know who Colin Wilson is.
Of course.
Dream interpretation. Okay, I mean, I'm 68 years old. These guys.
I'm not interpreting your dreams.
Patrick Flanagan is an old friend of mine. Okay, no, that's really interesting. You asked me, because I can't. I'm thinking right here. I cannot. Okay, quantify the last. I mean, it's been peaceful, but I wake up happy, so it must be good.
And the thing to think of is that I'm not asking you to put you on the spot. I'm just honestly asking, because I know what my last dream was, and I could tell you what it was. It was just a couple nights ago. I dreamed for some reason that I was in a weird retail store, and the rules didn't apply anymore, and I was like snarfing down all these. I was like stealing, like headlamps, you know, like you wear to like check on your wood pile and stuff. I was like throwing them all in my backpack, thinking about all the friends I'm going to give them to, and that's what I dreamed 2 nights ago.
Wow!
And that's the last dream I had.
Make sure you give me a nice one.
In my dreams.
Okay, let me tell my friend Creek Stewart to send you an Apoca box. Okay, in your dream.
And that's what I dream. But I always ask people that. It's like, what'd you dream last, man? Because that's the one thing. It's like, oh, we don't talk about that. Usually we talk about like, how's your car running, or what's your job like, or
I'd love to talk about that, but I don't quantify that. Here, let's look. I see that smiling face over there. Let's put Maynard on the spot. What'd you
David,
dream
come
about,
on, man.
Maynard?
Oh, I actually just told about my last dream. That was the last dream that I had.
He was talking about
Okay.
it. I don't
Who else
think
is
Thor
on
heard
there?
it though, because I don't think he was on the line.
I had this crazy dream that I was driving this car and I was being watched. So I got out of the car and I was jogging down the sidewalk, and this cop that apparently hadn't even heard about me stopped me to ask me questions, and it was weird. It was honestly weird.
Wow, paranoid much?
No, not at all, actually.
But you had the dream about being pulled over?
Yeah, but when I'm not doing this and I'm not in the chat rooms, I'm actually listening to the scanner. So my good night sleep stuff is listening to Fresno on the police scanner.
Wow.
Yeah, because that's the area that I grew up in, and I lived
Yeah,
in
I was
that
just
area.
about to say Fresno's a long way from South Carolina.
Yeah, that's actually the area that I grew up in, and I moved back to the valley, and I lived in Porterville, which is about 70 miles south of Fresno, for 4 years before I went back to Nevada. I was there for another I was in Nevada, and then I went to California, and then I went back to Nevada after I got done with my walk, and I was there for about 4 years. I was in California. So
you did a walkabout?
I did almost 5 years of walking. Yeah.
Wow. Well,
For
so
troops.
so you lived in the Central Valley, so what do you think about the Fukushima radiation for this is now 5 years, 24/7, 365. Oh, no, actually, it was only 72 hours. So it's not 5 years minus 72 hours, okay?
Yeah.
The radiation came over here and contaminated every fucking thing on the planet. Okay, these guys in Pennsylvania, I have a whole thing on, I've got like 25,000 pages on the internet about Fukushima. These fucking nitwits, the governor in Pennsylvania says, I don't want you to draw any conclusions that relates rainwater to radiation. Where the fuck do you think Philadelphia gets the water from? The open reservoirs. When it rains, when it snows, when the radiation comes down, it falls down on all the food in California first. All
Sure it does.
the Grecs, okay, and it gets over to Florida, which it fucking inundated Melbourne Beach. That means the entire United States was fucked up in the first 72 hours, okay, and you know it was kept away
Are you
from
there,
us.
Thor? Can you hear me, Thor?
Wasn't I talking?
You were talking. I wanted to ask if you could hear me. I was going to add something to what you were just saying.
I'm listening to you right now. I can hear you. Thank you.
So what I think is going on, what we're going through is we're getting geoengineered for the alien race that's coming in that the elites have made a deal with, and we have to ride that out based on our own perception, because we're going to go the way of the dodo if we don't stand up and do something about it.
That's
What
what the
we
whole
do-
geoengineering thing is about with the chemtrails. I mean, Dane's a good friend. Jim Lee's a good friend. I understand all of this. That's why we want you on the radio show, because you're aware.
Well, and so is Damien, and so is everyone else involved in this circle, and that's the thing that what I see is happening is that we have Fukushima going off full blast, and no one's saying anything about it because it's intentional. This is intentional. This
Absolutely
is
it
not,
is.
you know.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna break for a minute, and I'm gonna screen share Sergeant Mo, because she's going on right now. I'd like to know what she's saying.
Love it. Love it. Let's go.
I'm
I'll
gonna
stay
screen
around.
share this. Okay, sound. Can you guys see that?
I have a black screen.
Oh. Can you see that? Whoa, that was weird. Can you guys see that? No, 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 no.
But he goes on to tell them as he left that there could be issues. But he said he has his own concerns that people stand out against it, that it's the federal government unjustly, and maybe by the way, representatives, not only next to the president, that the federal government shall have unjustly when it comes to the unjustly when killing comes by in our country. Even against these peaceful protesters there, therefore, I believe it needs to be used possibly taught in elevations in aims in irate protesters. None of the federal government that caused them that insulted that insulted us. I would suggest to you that whenever the feds out there are that it is those agents that are on the ground that perpetrated and elevated a peaceful protest against agents. Yes, we should unfront ban and capture the contract. But not allowed to be killed. While the country is after the fact and protected the fact. Actually, but it was their power. Government is trying to justify its actions but their courts were suggested. They're trying to criminalize the challenge that's covered. Covered it in support of the message that's covered it with its truth. So us, all of us in the world are African showing us we're asking for in the first person looking for they were ignorant. But they were not ignorant by truth, but they were ignorant by certain actions. The momentary sound, the rest of the answer, by the who got there and the culture, given our people, which is their closer to and on the agents on the ground behaving just like they did in Florida. Inadequately, unjustly, inadequately, the pieces really showed us the truth. And now you have
All right, I'm back.
silence with the federal government.
Okay, I'm going to watch direct.
Okay, is it working on your end?
Yours is scrambled. I just got back on. Somehow I was blocked. So I think at the moment, just watch direct. We get the better feed.
Okay.
I was blocked too there, man. Am I back?
All right,
Yeah,
I hear
you're
you loud and clear.
Nice.
Is it broadcasting okay? Are you seeing it okay?
Right now, you have a black screen. I've got both channels open.
Are you hearing it?
I'm hearing it over there.
should be screen sharing.
Okay. You have a black screen, Damien.
Yes. Bastard.
Flashed up for a moment.
I see it now, Damien. I can see your broadcast now with Sergeant Mo.
Oh, good, good.
Okay, I turned her up, but I don't get any sound on you, Damien.
I should be getting sound. And it should have the feed up too.
I see your feed. Okay, and I've got her on another channel here, muted, and no audio on yours.
I'm actually seeing the audio on mine.
Wow, you got a 10-second lag.
You that in some of those riots, a lot of planning occurred. Planning to meet, planning to riot, planning and then actioning the burning of buildings, actioning the looting of pharmacies, actioning the destruction of private and public properties throughout cities, throughout America that we have seen in recent years. Yet those actions have never been accounted for in such a way that you see every patriot member that is currently being held in several states to include Portland, Oregon, at Multnomah County and in Furnace facility, both in Portland, and now in Nevada, and now facing charges from federal charges from Nevada and federal charges from Oregon. They remain peaceful. They say these brandished weapons. The only photos I've ever seen with them with weapons is when they pull. Somebody said, "Can I take your photo?" They had their weapon with them. It was a pose, not a brandishing. A pose. That's what we did in Iraq. Somebody wanted to take my picture. I had to have my weapon on me because saw me. Because I have to have it on me. Well, in America, we have the Second Amendment right to have our weapons on us. to visit them. Therefore, no records were appointed at any time until the day the shop appointment in her. No records were managed at any record. Plenty of live footage that covers that. Did Keith Santilli go too far? No. He reported to you in live footage, among others with Michael Henry, my own videos, other videos. And you know what? The mainstream media has tons of hours of videos that they don't submit to the public. They edit and cut and they give you a snippet. Now we are doing is with the lies, the accuracy, and omissions from the mainstream media. We have Alex Jones listening to the mainstream media and the federal government, the same federal government who spent hours and hours fighting against. Yet now he believes the federal government. Yet now he believes brought national attention. The only way he brought national attention was to make a stand through peaceful protest that's more radical than some of us would ever have done ourselves. And I want to now make it back. From the very beginning, Keith Santilli said, I do not agree with taking over this property. I do not agree with the occupation itself, the action itself, but I support the message. And if you support the message too, then you also recognize that the national attention is necessary to get the message out to brainless, to the mill, to constipate, and destroy every other avenue and resource that every American has ever signed, whether it is a petition or calls to representatives or Congress or the like, legislation, so on and so forth. All of those avenues were exhausted for years and then ignored prior to the Afghan standoff, and then prior to the 90 arrests, 72 arrests, prior to each of those. Everything was ignored. So some might well understand. Now, I personally not only not have protected myself from it. Once that is done, I covered it, and so did Keith Santilli. And we supported the message. And it was the agenda of Keith Santilli to make sure, as well as my own, that the PJ community saw at least the message. Saw the necessity of the message still getting out, and that legal paperwork was still being conducted in the house. The truth was being reported. And when Keith Santilli called for any help and support, let me tell you what I witnessed. And you witnessed it too if you watched his videos. He called for help, yes, peacefully. He said, bring your flowers and your signs. Don't worry about your guns. Bring your flowers and your signs. Bring your love, bring your support. And stand with your brothers and sisters. He said, come to our court. And he needs a help. Instead of they support in action and words that were legal, lawful, constitutional, and peaceful. They show their support by building consistently. Let me tell you what I saw in the storefront that not such support. The one that you for the locals. If the goods don't sell for it, how supportive the locals were so supportive. The evidence is even if the locals are in fear of the federal government and the domination system, they still show their support with courage, with massive amounts of food and other aid, financial means of resources. They show their support to help them continue their mission. Whether you agree or not, the first actions that occurred that Fusion Village City did not agree with those actions, making that clear to everybody and everything. They became hard. One thing was, once the others stood with what they were doing, our lingering Fusion Village on the day of deliberation, so gut-wrenching, as I also observed, so gut-wrenching. How do we report on this with integrity and not cause for the division in the already caused by these actions in the case of he was so conservative, also got no rights arrangements, which were a problem. That message was the priority. That is what this system did. There's hours and hours of video on that concern, on that message. A show like Alex Jones, who interpreted it in another way, and carried it. Right now, to push it to